Black technology, building a lightsaber starting from a graduation project. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story in all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 251 Real Thigh Teammates. The other side, the people who were looking for Su Zhao everywhere looked up. Something brown-red began to appear in the distance, and it was still growing at an alarming rate. Liu Born asked suspiciously, "What the hell is going on here? It seems to be an ant, and there's an iron rule in East Afghanistan. As long as you encounter ants and start stacking arhats, it is generally not a good thing for the first time." Yuan Farron thought of the attack of the ant colony. Quick, Fishy, can you see what's going on over there with a telescope? As soon as Wang Doi took out his telescope, he saw the red torrent began to rush towards this side at a high speed. Hurry up, don't be in a daze, take out your lightsaber right away. The attack power of the ant colony cannot be underestimated, especially this kind of organized and premeditated. If a swarm of soldier ants come up, the final result is often not very good. Using blaster guns to deal with ant colonies is a bit overkill. The lightsaber is just right, and the vibration frequency is high after opening. It is like opening the unparalleled hang, crushing from start to finish. Sizzle, damn, why the location phone is ringing at this time? Don't you know I'm busy? Yuan Farron reluctantly connected. Hey, why do you guys come up with lightsabers? Do you welcome your teammates so much? The four of them were a little confused when they heard the sharp and thin shots from the location phone. What's the meaning? Teammate Pen Fun Library. You call the ant colony rushing in front of you teammates. Although a little puzzled, the four of them stopped. Look at your group of people are really fools. Didn't I say? I'm not an ordinary human being. Not long after I finished speaking, a colony of ants came out. Why can't you make a bold guess? Maybe I brought it here. This series of words made the four of them even more confused. I really heard it right. Yes, of course you heard it right. Let me show you something good. Su Zhao stretched out his hands and snapped his fingers. The ant colony in front of him began to change again. Clap la 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 la. What is this doing? Liu Born held the inactive lightsaber in his hand, a little confused. It seems to be a pattern. Look at the ant colony that is constantly gathering. Everyone has a little bit of puzzlement in their hearts. Is this introducing yourself? As the ant colony began to grow, the handwriting slowly appeared. Su Zhao was born in Professor Su's genetic biological warrior project, on purpose to solve the problem of your information. Clap la 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 la. Various creatures began to appear in the grass. Rats, crows, snakes. The creatures that originally belonged to predator-prey relationship also began to live in harmony. They even started to go around in circles, expressing their welcome in a special way. The four of them stared blankly. Yuan Farron, I'm not dreaming. It's because all the animals around have run away. Tang Yuan was a little dumbfounded and said uncertainly, Boran, come over and let me smoke. I'll see if I'm dreaming. Liu Boran, who was standing aside, hurriedly jumped away. Gan, are you trying to take advantage of me? No matter how you look at it, it looks like you want to jump over and hit me on purpose. How can? Do you think this situation in front of you is normal? Of course not. Then look at Wang Doi. Why is his face so calm? Liu Boran, indeed, why is this kid so calm, as if nothing happened at this moment? Wang Doi's palm was full of sweat. There is tension and anticipation. The nervousnesses. Can the genetic biological warrior designed by Professor Su be so strong? What I am looking forward to is, I rely on. With this ability, is it not a god teammate? With its addition, it is not able to hang everything. Sizzle. The surrounding animals all stopped a few meters before the four of them. Then, a king cobra came out ahead, head held high. After a few seconds, he stopped in front of everyone. On the head of the king cobra sat upright a little white mouse with golden light all over his body. The fur is smooth and spotless. Even his eyes were glowing with golden light. Gan, this is the genetic biological warrior. So handsome, huge fucking handsome. If I become a guinea pig, I can also become like this. Not impossible. All four of them had such thoughts in their minds. In the next second, I heard gold covering my body, the light guinea pig said in a particularly drawn tone. How about it, bros? I'm not fucking. Although the tone is a bit awkward, But this way of appearing, being able to sit on the head of a predatory king cobra, is really handsome in that regard. Seeing the four of them nodded silently, Su Zhao laughed. I knew it, so from now on, I'm the eldest brother of the four of you. Come on, let me tell you, eldest brother, listen. The silent four looked at each other. I feel like I've been insulted. Be confident and get rid of feel and seem. That's the right answer. Would you like to chop it off? I said to Professor Su. The guinea pigs who came here are gone because they can't speak the local language. Good idea. Then this time, let's use the blaster gun, which is enough face for it. The three people who looked at the interaction have reached a consensus with each other. Su Zhao panicked and said quickly, Hey, what are you doing? I'm just making a joke with you. Real. Oh, that's it. Then you can call a big brother to listen. Speaking of which, Liu Baoren also took out a rough blaster gun. Facing Su Zhao as he spoke, he explained, I didn't ask you. It doesn't matter if you don't want to. Does it matter? When you say this, does your conscience really not hurt at all? Forget it. Isn't it big brother? Big brother, hey, brother is really sensible. Gan, you wait. I will call the wild dog to bite you later then. In the following time, the four of them learned various basic information about Su Zhao. In a few hours, I learned all the lessons. Complete the task of the instructor. 100% win rate. Never go wrong. Finally, in the base, directly controlling all the animals around us ushered in a siege of the base. The result, the instructor was completely crushed. It's numb. People are really numb. The four-member lightsaber team, who is waiting for the result, didn't think too much about it, but now, this teammate is really too much. Criticize real Thai teammates. Chapter 252 Slums. Zhang Fangyan is still in a state of confusion, and along the way, he is a little suspicious of life. You just said that you don't need me anymore. Yuan Farron answered very affirmatively, making Zhang Fangyan think that he did something wrong. No, you are not familiar with East Afghanistan, and this is the first time you have come here. Don't you really need someone to take you? Our secret weapon has arrived. The weapon has arrived. This sentence is really true and hurtful, and it is simply ruthless. Oh, by the way, tell Rahim, he doesn't need him anymore. In the previous plan, Zhang Fangyan was needed to lead the way, plus Rahim to guide the way, state the approximate location of the meteorite and how to get there. But now, with Su Zhao, one person can beat several people. I have to say that Professor Su is really reliable genetic biological warrior, far more powerful than imagined. Just when Yuan Farron was about to turn around and leave, he added a sentence. You told Rahim to let him go, not to shoot him in the back while he was gone. Zhang Fangyan, what is the situation? Why did you say this suddenly? As for why Yuan Farron suddenly said this, it was because Su Zhao gave feedback through animals. The person who was detained not far away was praying in a low voice, as long as he is not killed, he will believe in God in this life. As a retired person, Zhang Fangyan can understand that the task is the most important, but he really couldn't figure out who the person who came to support was. Why do the members of the lightsaber squad have such a strong self-confidence until he saw an unforgettable scene. Clap la 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 la. GGG, squeak squeak. Various species that were originally in a predator-prey relationship at this moment, peaceful coexistence begins going forward in a fixed direction. The numbers are extremely exaggerated, and the discipline is extremely standardized. It's like there's someone behind the scenes who controls everything. Is this the so-called secret weapon? I'll go. Zhang Fangyan's mouth was wide open, unable to speak. I always feel that Longo's technology is no longer as imagined. Did I really just haven't been home for more than 10 days? Have you checked the direction of Bam City? Yuan Farron started to ask while holding the walkie-talkie. Since Su Zhao finished meeting them, their walkie-talkies have matched. However, Su Zhao is the result of the genetic biological warrior project. It's not the same mission as the lightsaber squad. For the sake of concealment, Su Zhao's existence was not exposed. They acted separately, relying solely on walkie-talkies to communicate. Of course, for them, they couldn't see where Su Zhao was, and they are always in the field of vision near Su Zhao. Well, the investigation is done. A rat who has been in Bam City for several years told me the secret trail. Don't worry, the news is absolutely correct. Yuan Farron, Convex Tang Yuan. 3. Liu Baoren. Oh, even the most calm Wang Doi began to have a different expression. Degree. Although mostly guessed, but the moment I heard it, I still thought it was outrageous. A rat who has been in Bam for a few years shows us the way. At a certain moment, they are indeed doubting the authenticity of this world. Don't we really live in works of art? Apart from that, did it say anything else? There. task is mainly to investigate the situation of the meteorite that fell on Bam City, and what the pattern of the pentagram behind it means," said. Suzhou changed his giggling expression. The four of them were waiting without saying a word. It said that something fell from the sky some time ago, and some members of the family were killed in action. Then some of the remaining members went to live in the slums. After a while, a pattern started circulating in the slums, the pentagram pattern we were looking for. Ghetto, pentagram. The lightsaber squad of four began to sink into deep thought. They witnessed the magic of the pentagram pattern on Rahim. The road to immortality must be a very heavy price, and it only takes a moment to heal the wounds like Rahim. Some offerings that pentagrams are definitely sought after by everyone in the ghetto. Either way, you are going to die. If you choose to believe in science, you may put your hard-earned savings into it, and you won't get results, and that word pentagram can heal wounds at the cost of a little something, so why not choose to believe the latter? There is real hope only if people can survive. All the countries on the Blue Star are uneven in wealth. The north side of Bam City is a gathering place for the wealthy, where you can see all kinds of high-end technology. Everyone has several suits for participating in various parties of different natures. Eat authentic European and American food. A steakhouse in a prime location. A large tomahawk steak is the income of a poor family for a few years. The topics that everyone talks about are finance, business, and various topics that can reflect their own value. At this moment, there were two men in suits and ties, while cutting the steak into pieces with a fork, while communicating. "Hey, I heard that people in the degenerate area to the south have recently started to believe in a strange religion." "Oh, I heard it too. It's a pentagram. And the person who is healed by the pentagram, the higher the devotion to that religion. Those rubbish that brings shame to our country actually believe in a pentagram. I heard that as long as there are enough sacrifices to exchange items with their gods, they can be favored and even lead to eternal life." "How old is this? Why do people still believe this?" The person eating steak and drinking red wine said slowly after picking up the napkin next to him to wipe the corners of his mouth. "I won't feel strange about what kind of things they do. These assholes." Finished. Then I'm going to play golf. I heard that. I just opened a nice course. I also heard from my friends. Let's go. South of Bam City, dilapidated houses are stacked on top of each other, and from the outside, they are already dangerous buildings, but there were all kinds of dim lights inside at this time. There were 3 people crowded in a dilapidated room somewhere. Chapter 253, the ceremony begins. "Doctor, is there any help for my child?" The woman in tattered clothes was whispering to doctor with a small case. "The thigh is deeply infected, and there are all kinds of scars on the body, and the wounds are starting to stink," the latter said helplessly. "This kind of situation really can't be cured here, but what's the matter?" "You said, doctor." The woman seemed to hear her last hope. "If you are north of Bam City, you can get treatment." North. The woman who heard this was stunned. Obviously everyone is a country, and the gap between them is only in the north and south, but the final performance is simply one in the sky and one in the ground. What they eat for one meal can be worth the income of their family for several years. For a woman who had hardly ever been out of the slum, she really couldn't imagine it. What kind of food will make more than their income in a few years? The doctor sighed as he packed his things. This is the 3rd time he has seen it today. "Although I have seen many births, old age, sickness and death, and young lives are disappearing before my eyes, this moment has really arrived." Still feeling emotional, opening the door, looking at the dilapidated houses stacked on top of his head, the doctor felt a little depressed and sighed. "Perhaps you can try another method, another way? You don't want to talk about going north again?" Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the doctor. No. Using this method, maybe the child in front of you can really be saved." "Doctor, you speak quickly." The woman's emotions rose. Half a month ago, a group of strangers came to the place where he lived dressed in exquisite clothing. The watches on his hands are all foreign luxury brands. The purpose is also very simple. "If there are some dying people in the slums who cannot be saved, you can contact me. We treat them for free. The key point is this: we'll pay you a lot of money when it's done." No matter how he heard it, the doctor felt that he had encountered a liar in this day and age. There is no free treatment, and a lot of money is sent to you, but judging by the way those people dress, there's no need to lie to him, because the people in the slums have always been the lowest class. Even if it disappears one day, no one will come to us. They don't need to do this. Maybe it's true. With this idea in mind, the doctor left the contact information. The next day, he met a dying man. The man's family said to him at the time, no matter what kind of treatment is used, as long as it keeps him alive, they will accept it. Then, The doctor contacted the group with a mentality of giving it a try. People in slums have never been taken seriously. It is normal to do it for a day or even a few days. Result: they arrived that afternoon with strange colors, strange devices. Shut the door. A few minutes later, a strange pentagram appeared on the ground. What happened next was beyond the doctor's imagination. Have the patient's parents stand in a position to be sacrificed, and have the patient lie inside the pentagram after the instrument was powered on. The surrounding pentagrams were activated in a circle. No weird spells, not even weird gestures. It is to see that the light of the pentagram gathers from the ground to the person's body in a circle, and then returns to the pentagram on the ground from the person's body in a circle. The whole process takes less than 10 minutes. When the light fades away, the injured person, who was still on the verge of death just now, stretched out his hand and looked around blankly. Your injury has been cured. Cherish your new life. Those who have done a good job just leave without looking back with the equipment in their hands. That moment, the doctor thought he had seen a real saint, because he also got the promised remuneration, which is his income for 2 months. Then, in the next few days, just encounter a similar situation. He will introduce those people strange equipment, strange paints, pentagrams. It spread like this in the slums. Everyone is praising them as saints. The accident happened the next day, when the family volunteered to be the sacrifice. Either he died or an accident happened, in the words of the witnesses. If not with your own eyes, from what I saw, I couldn't believe that you would do something like that. It's like your own soul no longer belongs to yourself and is controlled by others. Meanwhile, those who recovered, deep red light continued to gather in the depths of his eyes, and his behavior began to become strange. They all said, every time late at night, I can hear some unfamiliar words from the bottom of my heart. At first, it will be jerky and difficult to understand, and then, it will be wonderful and beautiful, and they are all saying, an oracle has come to them, and they are ready to dedicate their lives to the gods in their hearts at all times. The doctor told the woman everything without reservation. Since those abnormal situations occurred, he has not taken the initiative to introduce again. So, my child Maliki can be saved and given a new life. The doctor held his forehead. As expected, it seems that in front of their parents, they will selectively ignore some words. Those words in front of him were all inaudible. I can only hear the last sentence. To be able to get a new life from the past, it may not be a rescue, nor a new life. It is a fall into a deeper abyss. The woman turned her head and glanced at Maliki, who was slumped to the ground. People who are usually optimistic and strong are lying on the ground with white lips at this time, and the sound of humming and chirping can be heard from time to time. No, for me, this is the new life. Doctor, please help me get in touch with him. Follow the woman's gaze. The doctor fell into silence and sighed. I see. Shortly after, the sound of footsteps. Da-da, from far to near. For women, it is the footsteps of hop-a-boom, thump-thump. Are they still knocking on the door? The woman was stunned, and hurried to open the door. 3 men in black uniforms appeared in front of them. This is a lifesaver. The woman's thoughts. This is the god of death. Doctor's thoughts. Before that, we have a routine inquiry. Excuse me, are you really ready to be a sacrifice? Yes. Excuse me, are you really willing to bear the consequences in the future? Yes. Okay, the ceremony begins. Chapter 254. Mutants. Everything that was going on in the room was exactly what the doctor said. After the device is powered on, the current enters the pentagram. A pattern of circles, slowly activated as the current begins. There was indeed light emerging from the pentagram pattern and began to converge on Maliki. When those rays of light did not enter Maliki, the woman did not feel anything strange until the light poured into Maliki. She felt something bite her, the kind that comes from the state of the soul. Although women believe in God, the word soul is often put on the lips, but this was also the first time he really felt the tearing of his soul. The pain is unbearable. The specific feeling is the soul that fell off her body was grafted onto Maliki. As the tearing of the soul gradually increased, the woman felt that the breath on her body became weaker and weaker. The source of life began to be drawn away from her. Can it really work? Dear Maliki, I'm sorry to say goodbye to you in this way. How can a mother see her dear child die in front of her eyes? Even if it's a 1 in 10,000 chance, it's worth trying for me. The doctor is a well-reputed doctor in our ghetto. I trust him. I heard that this can make you wake up. There is no way. I can only choose this way if there is a chance in the future. I hope to give you a better way to grow. On the other side, the light is starting to gradually fall off Maliki. At this moment, Maliki, who had been in a coma, heard someone calling him with a sound. He came to a grotto. The surrounding stone walls were covered with scratches of varying shades, each of which was soaked in crimson pigment. No, it's blood. Traces of white light emerged from the surrounding stone walls, constantly mending his body. The stone wall in front began to loosen slowly, and the gravel fell from above. A vague figure began to appear in front of the wall, and a low voice came, "Excuse me, are you really ready to be a sacrifice? Offerings, what sacrifice?" and many more. Maliki Tuthan. I thought of the rumors I heard recently half a month ago. A new treatment method emerged in the slums, especially effective for people who are dying as long as someone is willing to become a sacrifice. The person placed in the pentagram can be cured at this moment. He suddenly heard the voice of his mother. No, impossible. Maliki couldn't believe that his mother agreed to this treatment in order to save him. Offer yourself as a sacrifice. Turns out that's how I was able to get here. Memories began to pop out uncontrollably. With red eyes and a look of grief, with the determination to die, Maliki brought hope of living. "Excuse me, are you really ready to be a sacrifice?" Same question as last time. The difference is that this time the tone of the rhetorical question was a little anxious, as if urging him to make some sort of decision. Pen fun library like. As long as Maliki agrees, the other party will be able to get something immediately. "Excuse me, are you really ready to be a sacrifice?" By the time the third question came, Maliki's emotions had already accumulated to peak. "Sacrifice? What I offer to Nima? Who do you think you are? Why should I be your sacrifice? Don't think that you can pretend to be a ghost by attaching to the stone wall. If you have the kind, you will be bright. Let me see what you are." The last few words, Maliki shouted out with a piercing heart boom rumble. The sudden loud noise ripped apart this space directly. Maliki, who is in it, gradually dimmed. Drip drip drip. A research institute in a top-secret location somewhere in Bam City began to keep turning on red lights. The blaring siren reminded everyone that something big was happening. What happened? The researcher next to him asked his colleague, who stared dumbfounded at the data on the instrument. It took a long time to respond. "There's mutants." "Mutant? Are you serious? Real? Then don't report to the superiors. It was said above that we should focus on mutants. I'm going right now." One is reporting to the superior, while the other is constantly looking at the data on the instrument in front of him. Murmured, "The previous rituals of offering sacrifices were all held in slums. Judging from the progress of the experiment, it is very close to the final goal." Looking up at the meteorite placed in the center not far away, there is a pentagram pattern on the meteorite, and most of the places are lit up. Only the last small part of the place is not lit. The slums are the slaughterhouses that are valued above, and they, as researchers, also know something. The flesh and blood of those who were sacrificed gathered here accelerates the lighting process of the meteorite pentagram, and those who are healed by the pentagram are accessories waiting for the moment when God comes, being offered to speed up God's recovery. And this group of people, called God's chosen people, will be able to gain strength in the future. Among those God accessories, there is a small chance of mutating to become a mutant. Powerful mutants will deal heavy blows to the restored gods. As for what kind of damage, they don't know. They only know that they must be eliminated, otherwise, they, the chosen people of God, will also be in great trouble. So, with this discovery, the entire base began to become lively. The order began to be passed down one by one. "Quick, go and investigate who has become the mutant." Judging from the signal, it's the slum side. On the other side, a 4-man lightsaber squad is staying in a dilapidated house. Liu Born rubbed the floor under his feet with his hands, and said with disgust, "There is such a big gap in a city." Tang Yuan nodded. "If it hadn't been here, I wouldn't believe it. People in the north spend a lot of money eating steak, and people in the south can't even provide the most basic medical care." Yuan Firen, who was wiping his lightsaber, was silent for a while, and said, "They actually set their target in the slums and exchanged sacrifices for other people's lives. It's just daring." Wang Doyu, who has never spoken, also began to express his opinion. The other three, "I want to cut people," Wang Doyu said concisely. "Understood." A few minutes later, Yuan Firen took the initiative to say, "Is what you said about Suja right? It should be right. The senses of the animal are different from ours. Maybe it really senses a mutant survivor." Chapter 255. What are you talking about? That day, when Maliki woke up, the professionals who presided over the ceremony had already left, leaving only a chagrined doctor. The doctor told Maliki the whole story in a dejected tone. Actually, this is also the first time the doctor has watched the entire process of the ceremony. He guessed that the woman might be in trouble, but, unexpectedly, he died directly. In a way, it's a life for a life. He traded his life for Maliki's survival. When Maliki dazedly heard his mother's voice, he guessed how things were going. The doctor did nothing wrong. Without him, he would be dead. What remains is the mother. It's just, what annoys him is the question he heard in the grotto made him feel that things are not so simple. Why do stone statues still need offerings? Why did those who survived begin to change their temperaments? He had seen those people, with red eyes, roaring like wild beasts in the middle of the night. Is that really a survivor? In a way, It's more like a captive beast waiting to be slaughtered at the right time. Just when the doctor was about to explain, Maliki gestured for him to be quiet. From just now, he heard strange noises. I thought it was hallucinations, but now, that's not the case. Tattoo, turning to look in the other direction, he remembered in that direction not far away, there was someone who was on the verge of death just like him, and was restored to health through a ritual pen fun library. He had never heard a strange sound before now. Across such a distance, he could hear the sound of baby babble as if being eaten by insects. Is this really rebirth? Maliki became suspicious. Quick, over there. Yes, the direction indicated by the signal comes from that place. Hurry up and rush over. Everyone, pay attention. There's news from above. This time it was the mutant who was successfully transformed through the ceremony. The above also said that as long as we can catch the mutants, it is a great achievement. Ceremony? Mutants. There were only 2 people in the whole house. The doctor didn't perform the ceremony. That, they target me. Having figured this out, Maliki immediately ran towards the window. What are you doing? The doctor was frightened by the sudden mutation. Maliki, who was about to turn over and came out, thought of something, turned around and replied, Doctor, if a similar phenomenon happens in the slums in the future, don't call them again. This is not a rebirth. Boom. The door of the house was knocked upon. Maliki broke through the window and escaped. Over the next few days, Maliki found the slum filled with people he had never seen before. Some were wearing uniforms with strange equipment in their hands, probing everywhere. Another group of people dressed in plain clothes. Their steps seemed relaxed, but their muscles were tensing either way. Maliki felt the tension, especially since this group of people is targeting him. Thinking of this, he felt a headache. Fortunately, the slum is where he has lived since he was a child. With his familiarity with the environment, he avoided every containment, but this frightening life made him feel tired. What did I do wrong? Why are you arresting me? Or, let it end like this. He was a little tired, and the high intensity days without a good rest left him physically and mentally tired. Would you like to go out? As soon as I had this thought, I stopped it. How could my mother give up like this when she was willing to be a sacrifice for herself? And, as the time of being arrested became longer, he felt that some abilities in his body were beginning to awaken. I can hear all kinds of strange sounds in people's bodies more specifically, and I can also see that seeds like plants are slowly hatching in their bodies. The most important point, he felt that he could intervene in those seeds if he had a chance to get in touch with them. It seems that pulling out the seeds is also something that can be done. That's probably why he's been searched all the time. Quick, over there. The instrument has responded. My instrument also responded. This time I must catch the pests. Maliki frowned. They're here again, and this time, there really seems to be nowhere to run. All around a secret set of houses stacked together. Just when Maliki was about to give up on himself, a voice came from not far away. Hey, no, are you going to give up? Who are you? Maliki's muscles began to tighten, and the sudden unfamiliar voice made him tremble. Yo, brother, take it easy. I'm not like the people out there who are chasing you. They want your life, and I, as a unique species, just want to make you feel like home. Maliki, obviously the current situation is a bit tense, but listening to this cheap voice he felt that the atmosphere was starting to get a little weird. Boom. The manhole cover on the ground not far away was opened, and a pitch-black road appeared in front of Maliki's sewer. Just now, I was still thinking that this time I was going to die. Only, no normal person would think of this. You don't have any weird fetishes, or, not human. Wait, that's not right. If not human, why speak? Hey, what are you hesitating about? Why do you want to go to the laboratory to be a sliced expert? Tattoo. The footsteps behind him were getting closer. Gan, I don't want to be a slice research guy in the lab. Although, the sewers are narrow and dark, but at least you can keep yourself safe. Especially, I'm not alone here, someone else is with me. That's right. Wouldn't it be better to make a decision earlier? Let me tell you, I have 4 brothers, and they are strong. As long as we give us a certain amount of time, we can definitely kill them. Have a brother, 4 can quack kill. What are you thinking about? Be careful, don't bump your head. As soon as the person in front spoke, he heard a boom, and Maliki hit it with precision. Didn't I tell you? Be careful. Hey, forget it, you humans, except for Professor Xu, everyone's IQ is not very good. Maliki, what are you talking about? Until the moment he came out of the sewer, he was stunned. Chapter 256, Prepare to counterattack. It wasn't what he imagined. Leading the way is not a human being, but a guinea pig riding on a cat. What happened? Why the guinea pig can ride on the cat? The key point is that the cat does not resist at all, and even has a little fear. Yo, I just found out now. It seems that I still overestimated you. I thought you knew it long ago, but you can't do it, Maliki. I don't know if it's my own delusion. He always felt like he was being mocked again. This little guinea pig is already very strange. To be able to speak the key is still so cheap. Is it really fearless, not afraid of being beaten? Why, looking at your expression, do you still want to attack your benefactor? No, I don't understand a little bit, Maliki wanted to explain. There are a lot of things you don't understand. Why don't you come with me? Going to the brother, you said. This time the response was quite quick. Of course, don't look at who I am. Maliki is thinking about it, no matter from which point of view. It is a very strange thing to suddenly appear a talking mouse, but here's the thing. What happened to him was pretty weird a month ago. He would never have believed it in the modern scientific society. It is possible to restore health in the pattern of the pentagram by means of sacrifice. It is even more unbelievable that the recovered human beings are not as completely recovered as they think. Instead, it lives in a weird way in their bodies. There are other things parasitizing, steal health, steal life. That hissing sound, biting everything like a worm under the premise of these. A talking guinea pig is not so strange. Give me some more time. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Su Zhao. What do you mean by giving you some time? Don't you know your situation? If I hadn't been here today, do you think you could really get out? And those chasing soldiers behind you have been positioning you all the time. You don't really think you can avoid them forever? A crackling speech make Maliki a little confused. What it said is indeed correct. Without it, I am afraid that today I would really go to the laboratory for slicing. Maybe you'll fart right away. Let's go. Follow the young master and I will have a bright future. Even if you don't believe me, you have to believe in Professor Su. Professor Su? Who is that? Su Zhao stopped, turned to look at him, and said seriously, God. The four members of the lightsaber team were a little worried at this time. Liu Boran, who was pacing, asked uncertainly, Su Zhao will be fine, right? If we don't find the target and there are no people, wouldn't we lose blood? Wang Doyu, who silently wiped his lightsaber, said, it's okay, yo, why are you so sure? Tang Yuan decided to take a shot. After all, the most silent person in the team, under normal circumstances, would not take the initiative to speak, because you are stupid. Tang Yuan, Nima, why do you feel so angry all of a sudden? This guy can only accurately hit other people's weaknesses every time he opens his mouth. Carry out a crit. If I hadn't been able to beat it, I would have given you a set of professional loving hugs. Yuan Theron said, don't forget, who found the room here for us, when I traveled through mountains and rivers. I first came to Bam City. The four of them are in trouble, and they are not familiar with each other. How can they find it? Result, Su Zhao showed them what the experience would be like if there were strong teammates. The fact is, they followed Su Zhao's instructions and not only came to Bam City accurately, but even found the direction of the slum. One of the empty rooms is a rare place to stay. There are very few people living around, almost no. After a few days, they completely believed what Su Zhao said to them at the beginning. This is a very safe house. It was really good. Even if they do burp here, they won't be immediately discovered by others. It's really been a while. It should be almost there. Before he could finish speaking, he heard footsteps coming from outside. Anyone? The four looked at each other and immediately entered a state of alert. Yuan Theron made a gesture, and the four of them stood at the door. Blind spot near the mouth. Activate the lightsaber in your hand. Buzz. Lightsabers of different colors began to light up before the door was opened. A familiar voice came from outside. I told you that the quality of our team is quack. You have to know that there is no good place for me to join the site. If you encounter those who are chasing you, you don't have to run away all the time. Find a place to set up a trap, and you can lure the enemy into it. Then, we just put the knife in the hand. The knife in the hand. A knife. Oh no, a sword and a gadget. As soon as the door opened, Maliki froze. There were indeed four people behind the door. What they were holding was exactly what Su Zhao said. It was indeed a sword that could shine. Lightsaber. He was bewildered. It turned out that the quack killing it said was not a lie. Several people present, after listening to Su Zhao's introduction, start to stare. The situation is far more serious than they imagined, and to be precise, the official performance has not even started. It is straightforward. All people in the slums should be treated as nourishment. Everything has to be slow. Even death has to be slow. So, he is the mutant survivor you intuitively feel. Accurately speaking, it is a mutant. Su Zhao emphasized on the side. The most surprising person belongs to Maliki. Extraterrestrial meteorite? Cultural invasion? mutants, there is a chance to bring heavy damage to God's recovery. Those official rescuers actually used them as nutrients to complete the meteorite project. All this information came from Su Zhao's mouth. As for why he had no doubts, because Su Zhao showed his hand in front of him. He can control animals. No wonder the sewers that he couldn't find after living in the slum for so many years could be discovered by Su Zhao. In a way, it's the God here always be able to know the real-time dynamics of the enemy in advance. Then shall we fight back? Maliki asked. Counterattack. Our purpose here is because of this. Before that, we have to report the situation to Professor Su, Yuan Farron said. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 God-Killing Version. The effect of the badge a while ago not only allowed the researchers in the base to completely solve the problem of the anti-gravity engine project, it also allowed Xu Teng to get feedback and breakthroughs in inspiration within a few hours. The gene medicine project was completed. The final problem in this mission, Xu Teng got the following rewards. Energy point 20, contribution value 1000. In addition to these basic rewards, there is an unknown reward. Unknown reward? In the future, you will know its powerful use. Intimate note, you have to believe me, as a caring system, how can it deceive you then? After mobilizing the virtual screen, Xu Teng's current data is displayed on it. Current level, LV3, contribution value 4000/5000. The extra 600 contribution points were generated by him in these 11 days after the genetic medicine project was completed. A special person was found to test the effect of the medicine. A patient who was once sick in bed for many years became alive that night. Even those with severe burns and years of necrotic skin finally showed signs of recovery. The most crucial point is, even in the face of terminally ill people, one bottle of medicine can cure the disease. Let the team doctors in the army begin to doubt life. It is clear that Professor Su is a physics major, and I heard that he is still a weapon major. Why is this person able to do medicine so well? The only downside, too few potions. So, every time I think of the information obtained from East Afghanistan, Xu Teng was a little bit puzzled. To heal an injury, is it not enough to use normal means? Even if it is cancer, there is a way. Why do you need sacrifices? Why do you need sacrifices? To a certain extent, a certain level of improvement in genetic medicine can also lead to immortality. I thought so much. There is only one way to explain it. Even the meteorites that landed in East Afghanistan carry the products of other civilizations. It will not be much stronger than the technical blueprints that the system brings. Then, during these 11 days, Xu Teng not only learned a lot of weapon knowledge, but when he was free, also answer a variety of academic questions. In fact, it is a variety of problems related to genetic medicine. The regret is, the contribution value obtained is not as much as before, only a measly 600 points. There is still a certain degree of gap from the value required to wake up the system. Look at the words on the system screen. Unknown reward. Xu Teng began to look forward to it. Judging from past speculations, every thoughtful note from the system will not deceive people. Often enough news can be given, and this time, it will definitely be true. Hey, I don't know what's going on in East Afghanistan. The lightsaber squad should also have information. With the addition of Su Zhao, the team's efficiency has definitely improved in terms of obtaining information. Beep. The satellite phone in front of Xu Teng rang. Hey, Professor Su, I have some important information to report to you. This voice is Yuan Farron of the lightsaber team. You say, it's like this. Xu Teng listened patiently, and Yuan Farron reported the information that had been investigated during this period in the most concise language. Offerings, accessories, restoration of guts, mutants, progress of patterns on meteorites. Every message has an absolute guarantee of correctness behind it. As Xu Teng guessed, Su Zhao rounded up the options for infiltration and investigation alone. The project was completed perfectly. Not only did he get the information he wanted, but he didn't let the enemy notice it at all. The most arrogant point is that when they even got there, they found a very reliable safe house in an unfamiliar place. Su Zhao's perfect performance has confirmed the success of Xu Teng's genetic biological warrior project. Same as the goal of the experimental project. Su Qiaoneng and the lightsaber team have absolute cooperation. Judging from the status quo, the outgoing team accidentally mastered the big killer to deal with the meteorite invasion of civilization. As long as they were given a little more time, Su Zhao would be able to detect how Maliki, who is a mutant, could inflict heavy damage on the gods who were about to recover. Xu Teng's heart that was originally suspended, gradually began to stabilize. At this time human beings will be a little more worried when facing unknown dangers. Once it's clear, there's a certain ability to work it out, there's not as much to worry about. Professor Xu, Maliki has been all our wanted, shall we fight back? Of course we must fight back, the enemy of the enemy is our good friend. After a pause, Xu Teng had a bold idea. Maliki lived in a slum all year round, and for him, childhood has always been bleak, especially his mother was sacrificed as a sacrifice to save himself. And what did East Afghanistan give him? Chase and kill without reservation. If caught, the result must be lying in the laboratory. To start research, this kind of person can be one. You look for an opportunity to see if you can make Maliki our man. Professor Xu, I understand. As the captain, Yuan Farron had long considered this outcome. The person standing in front of him might become a big killer in the future. Definitely can't let him go. Make sure to make him our red comrade. After hanging up the phone, Xu Teng let out a long sigh. Judging from the reported situation, the team ahead has enough ability to solve the current problem. I just don't know what will happen to the gods. In the mouths of those researchers, forget it, I don't want to. Xu Teng turned his head and started paying attention to the virtual screen in front of him. Countdown to unlock new drawings. 5, 4, 3, 1. With the countdown finally cleared, the system jumped out a new message. Drawings are being unlocked. The energy of the badge calling is being loaded. Loading fusion. Purple gold blueprints have been extracted. Space-based weapons. God-killing version. Intimate note. The energy of the unlocked weapon is too powerful. Please don't mess around. Otherwise, if you are not careful, you can cause unexpected crit consequences. Seeing this series of system messages, Xu Teng was stunned. Pen Fun Library. Space-based weapons. I thought the large weapon you were talking about was the type of missile. Result, you brought me this kind of thing. Still a god-killing version? The purple gold material is much stronger than the original golden blueprint. It seems that the upgraded badges can indeed upgrade the drawings to a certain extent. In the past, the highest one was the golden blueprint. Moreover, the significance of this kind of drawing is that the drawings given by the system can really be judged according to the current situation. Chapter 258 Project Portfolio. Yuan Farron, who is in the front, only revealed a piece of news. Maybe East Afghanistan will wake up in the near future. A space-based weapon, the god-killing version, appeared in the blueprint unlocked by the system. No matter how you look at it, it seems to be providing Xu Teng with a strong firepower support, and this also illustrates a point from the side. If the higher the level of badge enhancement and upgrade, the upper limit of the drawing is higher. A month ago, the highest level of blueprints was the golden blueprint level. At this moment, it has become the level of purple gold blueprints. Then the purple gold blueprint in the future is not the upper limit. Thinking of this, Xu Teng turned his attention to the virtual screen of the system. Blueprint, space-based weapon, god-killing version, power energy, magically modified frosty particle device, projection weapon device, strategic tungsten rod, precision strike device, strategic laser burst. Intimate note, don't say I didn't tell you in advance. What if you are a newly restored low-level god? As long as you encounter the god-killing version of the space-based weapon, I will tell you strongly. What is it? As long as you are positioned, you will definitely escape. No. Looking at the pages of design drawings, Xu Teng was speechless in surprise. Space-based weapons are roughly divided into two categories. One is the projection type, which shoots dense metal from outer space against the surface of the blue star, and the powerful impact will produce considerable power. Such weapons can effectively strike enemies and facilities buried deep in underground bunkers, and are especially suitable for beheading operations. If there is a disadvantage, it is not very alert. Facing a moving target, it cannot strike with precision. The other is the laser satellite type. Its purpose is to use it to strike deep targets of enemy countries and to strike satellites of other countries. Because of the speed of light characteristics and extremely low energy scattering of lasers, lasers are very suitable for precisely hitting high-value targets on the ground. To be more precise, launch after locking on the target, hit the target directly, and have no effect on the people around the target, and these two types have always been built separately and will not appear on one type of drawing. The space-based weapons developed by the system have summarized both of them. Pen Fun Library. For other countries, there is another difficulty in building space-based weapons, that is, the need to provide space-based weapons. A working platform. Generally speaking, it is the production and construction of a satellite, which is used to carry space-based weapons around in circles. But some time ago, Xu Teng taught the people of Long Kingdom to develop a new technology, the anti-gravity engine. If it is modified, it can perfectly fit the space-based weapons. In addition to the projectile weapons given by the system drawings, The magic-modified Milovsky particles are used as power sources, projected from outer space. Kinetic energy plus Milovsky particles are used as power energy. The moment the kinetic energy hits the ground can bring more powerful lethality than ordinary space-based weapons. As for the final laser weapon blueprint, I think it's not an ordinary version. It is estimated that it is the kind, whoever hits, whoever gets pregnant. The system's intimate remarks are indeed correct. In the face of the god-killing version of the space-based weapon, the gods who have just recovered can't withstand such a strong blow. It seems that the primary goal of the anti-gravity engine project should be to cooperate with space-based weapons first. He picked up the phone in his hand and dialed Tan Yonglin Pen Fund Library as soon as the bell rang. The call was connected. Xu Teng has always had a question. Could it be that their mobile phones never leave their bodies? Professor Xu, do you have any new tasks to order? In terms of position, Xu Teng is lower than Alan Tam. However, when Alan Tam said this, no one felt wrong. Even he himself took it for granted. If he knew this question in Professor Xu's mind, he would definitely answer it, because there's only one Professor Xu in the Dragon Kingdom. Part of the situation is hidden. Xu Teng only speaks of the critical nature. 10 minutes ago, Yuan Farron called me and reported the latest news. He said that in the future, there may be gods awakening in East Afghanistan. God? Hearing this word, Alan Tam was nervous. He also knew some of the news that the lightsaber team had heard in East Afghanistan through pentagram treatment. Even cancer can be cured, and it is even possible to embark on the road of immortality. When I first heard about it, my mood progressed. It was not until Professor Xu completed the project of gene medicine. Looking back on it, Alan Tam felt that the therapeutic effect of the pentagram was nothing more than that you are theology and need sacrifices. I am a science. One needle will cure the disease. The strong and the weak can be distinguished at a glance only. Why even the gods have to come out? Just know that their pentagram will definitely not be as simple as a therapeutic effect. Professor Xu, what do you think? When encountering a problem, it is Alan Tam's habit to ask Professor Xu first. Don't ask, just ask how? I'm so old, and I meet capable juniors and ask what's wrong with their opinions. Don't worry, not long ago, I had a way. Real. Alan Tam is not too young, and it is difficult to have emotional ups and downs in normal times. Professor Xu has this kind of magic, and one sentence can make people look forward to it. According to Professor Xu's past research and development projects, this time should also be a strong physics persuasion. I just had an idea. If I use a large outer space weapon, it might be able to hit the so-called gods. And I also thought about the type of weapon, space-based weapons. As a big boss in the military region, he knew what it meant. The fighter plane is just air dominance, and the air refers to the sky. Space-based weapons, but air supremacy in outer space if all goes well. Fighter jets, near-Earth satellites. Many things have lost the meaning of deterrence for the Dragon Kingdom. That's a real hit to the soul. I have also thought about the nature, and used the anti-gravity engine to build space-based weapons, so I want to apply. The primary goal of the space base is to build an outer sky platform with space-based weapons to achieve precise guidance. As long as there is an abnormal situation in East Afghanistan, it can strike a perfect blow. If other people make suggestions, Alan Tam will think about it. After all, a missile that falls from the sky can hit all countries on the blue star. If it can hit East Afghanistan for some countries, it may be possible to take advantage of the theme. But this is Professor Xu's suggestion, and there is nothing wrong with it, and they have collected enough evidence. No one in power is so cruel that he needs to use the sacrifices of others to accomplish his goals. You are not benevolent. Why should you blame me for being unjust? Late that night, the base began to get busy. A new task is down. Chapter 259 Fishing Law Enforcement. The other side, East Afghanistan, slums. After hanging up, Yuan Farron turned to look at his teammates. Several people became nervous and asked one after another, "Captain, don't look like that." What did Professor Xu say? That's right. Did you tell Professor Xu that we were bullied here? It's not just bullying, even our teammates are starting to be hunted down. Maliki, as if something was wrong, and as if nothing was wrong inexplicably on the pirate ship. Cough cough. Of course, Professor Xu also attaches great importance to the information we pass out. As for the follow-up arrangements, Professor Xu also made it clear, let us make arrangements ourselves. Hearing this sentence, Liu Boren jumped up directly. Ness, finally we can make a difference. These days, I have been wiping my lightsaber, and every time I wipe it, Liu Boren will recite, my broadsword has long been thirsty. It's finally useful now. Even Wang Doyu, who has always been calm, whispered, the equipment is finally useful. And the happiest person is Maliki. He had never seen such a loyal person. He said a few hours ago that he would help you kill someone, but before it was night, the time was set. It seems that everyone supports this kind of action. Well, now let's determine what everyone needs to do. Yuan Firen took out a map from behind and spread it out in front of everyone. The complex terrain of the slums is that there are many trails and winding paths. Seeing that there is no way out, as soon as you turn ahead, a new road will appear in front of everyone. The houses are stacked on top of each other, and no one knows what will be encountered at the next corner. But the map in front of me is clear and easy to understand. Even Liu Born and Tang Yuan, people who don't like to think with their heads, can understand. Captain, where did you get this map from? It's too clear. Yes, I can understand it. After saying these words, the atmosphere suddenly became quiet. Man, inadvertently, I exposed my IQ. Cough cough. It was made by Su Zhao. In terms of accuracy, you don't need to doubt it, it is absolutely guaranteed obstructed. Next to Su Zhao said in a timely manner, actually, it's not difficult. I just found some small animals who have lived for many years nearby to participate in the production, and even 3 generations of people participated. The expressions you want to show off are all written on your face. Sol Dan, the lightsaber team of 4, is not surprised Maliki didn't understand until now. It turns out that this little guinea pig is not just cheap in front of me. But that's how it is again. He was obviously just a guinea pig, so why did his impression of him change so much after he could speak? Our location is here now. Yuan Firen pointed at a small circle above and said, there aren't many people around. This is the main reason why our place can be a safe house. Now we have several kinds of intelligence. The first type, Maliki, is a mutant that the other side is afraid of. For them, the key experiments on the meteorite may be damaged by Maliki. This is also the reason why they arrested Maliki. When they got it, it was either a sly study or a sudden death. As an off-site translator, Su Zhao has been translating Yuan Firen's words. Hearing this, I couldn't help but shudder. Maid, it's absolutely true. There's no way to refute it. Second type, our goal is to investigate what is so special about the pentagram on the meteorite, and whether there will be other civilizations behind it. Of course, from the current point of view, there must be an invasion of civilization on the meteorite, so our task is to definitely conflict with the researchers in East Afghanistan. To a certain extent, it is destined to be the enemy. That's why we protect Maliki. The third is, because of Su Zhao's participation, we can accurately obtain the real-time dynamics of the other party. They basically don't know our whereabouts. Under such favorable conditions, we will surely fight back. Before the mission, I would like to ask if you have any different opinions. The other 3 members shook their heads, and Su Zhao had no objection after all. It came to the front because of this mission is for Maliki. Don't even think about it. A mother died under the sacrifice, and he was also killed by the other party. Been chasing any change of person is an immortal situation. Okay, that's what happened. Let's discuss the next mission action. The battle is divided into home and away games, because with Su Zhao there, even in the slums, it is still the home game for us, and the opposite goal is to stand on our side. It's not us. But they should be anxious. After a simple analysis, we know, as long as we send out a little bit of Maliki's message, they will definitely come up like sharks smelling blood. Based on this analysis, we can come to fishing enforcement, fishing law enforcement, except Maliki didn't know what it meant. Everyone else's eyes lit up. Okay, what a fishing law enforcement officer. Why didn't I think of that? Wait, don't talk. It's easy to reveal your IQ again. What do you mean? Means nothing. Bullshit. Why? You're just talking nonsense. Looking at the 2 who started to fight, Wang Doi silently wiped his lightsaber and blaster. Yuan Firen opened his mouth and said, there are many fish, so you can't use blaster guns for fishing law enforcement. Oh, after responding, he stood aside and started wiping his lightsaber silently. Yuan Firen, although Wang Doi rarely speaks and is mostly silent, he has nothing to say in terms of reliability, but a lightsaber doesn't need much maintenance no matter how many times you rub it. The lightsaber won't get any brighter. Looking at the instantly changed atmosphere on the other side, Maliki was a little confused. Isn't it fishing law enforcement? Why do they look a little weird? As a translator, Su Zhao's expression was even more strange. What they mean, it won't be long before there's a fight. Oh, fight, I'm familiar with this. Maliki grew up in Islam and is familiar with fighting. What about me? What do I do? Although the 4 people and a mouse have their own tasks, in a certain sense, they are also removing the difficulties ahead from Maliki. You? Su Zhao looked embarrassed. The so-called fishing law enforcement, the translation is. Chapter 260. You are a fish to catch them, and we are waiting for them as a law enforcement force. Maliki, wait, Let me brush it off my head. Can't turn around a bit. I am a fish. You, Maliki, who understood, stammered, you want me to be the bait. Su Zhao looked at him silently for a while, then nodded. This kid is fine and everything, but his reaction is a little slow. If I hadn't met a few of them, it might have been the one that was sold by others and counted the money for them in other places. At the moment when he learned the truth, Maliki was a little bit sad. The more you know, the less happy you are. The slums, the twisty lanes inside the four-man lightsaber squad squatted in different places and lay in ambush holding the walkie-talkie. Liu Born asked uncertainly, can Maliki really cooperate with us? I always have a hunch. Will this child escape halfway? In a certain corner, Su Zhao, who heard this sentence, began to cover his face with his forelimbs. Captain Yuan's words are indeed not wrong. Liu Boran's words always make people start to doubt his IQ. Don't talk, Maliki will definitely come. Captain, are you so confident? Wang Doi couldn't stand that anymore, and reminded aloud, he has nowhere to go. Idiot. Gan, who are you calling an idiot? Liu Boran wanted to refute a few words, but then he thought about it. Yes, as a mutant, all scientific researchers are listed as a must-kill target, and in this country he has nowhere to go. His mother died willingly to save him in this case. Where else could he go? Helping the lightsaber squad is also helping himself. Stop talking. They have entered the encirclement. Su Zhao reminded the most important point in the entire fishing enforcement program is Maliki as a decoy. He has only one mission, to lure the officials who are hunting him down the path guarded by the lightsaber squad. Because there is Su Zhao in the team, in the selected trail, all are dead ends. One import, no export. The chosen place. There are few other people around. There were originally many people in the slums, and even if there were fatal injuries, the frequency was not that high. But since the official behind the scenes, they want to speed up the progress of the pentagram shining on a meteorite. The thugs, medical practitioners, one-stop service appear. There are special people in ambush on a specific route to attack the passing crowd. Afterwards, they are in a state of dying because they have no money and have to choose the start of the ceremony under the one-stop service. There are many fewer people in the slums. The living people live in a parasitic state. So, for the lightsaber squad, the tasks they completed also didn't increase in difficulty. Pen Fun Library in remote corners. There are no witnesses yet. Isn't that what they can do if they want? Tattoo. The sound of hurried footsteps began to come from a distance. There was also the sound of gasping for breath. Ha! Maliki, run away again, you little spicy chicken. You just hid for a few days like a mouse. How dare you come out again? Brother, don't say that. A waste like him doesn't need to survive. Tisk tisk tisk. The organization also said that when we encounter mutants, we should be careful. Now it seems that it is nothing more than that. Looking at the dead end ahead, the two grinned evilly. I have already begun to fantasize about how to spend that huge bonus. Do a serious sauna. And spend a good night in a less serious night. I heard that a group of hot girls have come here recently. Tisk tisk tisk. I drooled over that day. This time it was time to relax. Looking up, turning around, Maliki seemed to have recovered from his panting, and he was not panting anymore, and the whole person seemed very calm. Yo, I know that death is imminent, and I have begun to accept the reality. Yes, I am very enlightened. That's right. If we knew this earlier, why did we run so fast in the first place? Let us chase after a while. Really? Maliki smiled contemptuously. Where did you get this confidence from? The two looked at each other and laughed. Hey, you probably don't know why you keep being chased. This is, can we get information? When the lightsaber is small, Maliki was told once the team had assigned tasks to each other. You must pretend that you don't understand any information, so that when they face you, they will relax their vigilance. Maybe at the last moment, I will tell you something you don't know. Unexpectedly, the surprise came so quickly. Boss, what do you know? When you look at him like that? I guess people are still confused now. Ha. As a 1 in a million mutant who doesn't even know about this, it's really sad. If you ask me, I'll think about it, please, dream. But the look of doubt on Maliki's face really said it all. Among them, the man with the scar on his face took a step forward and took off his clothes. A few months ago, a meteorite came to East Afghanistan and brought a miracle. The people above did not expect that the pentagram pattern found in the meteorite actually has divine brilliance. For those in power, that's the road to eternal life. In the meantime, it just needs some sacrifices. Those who are healed are called appendages, providing nourishment for the coming of the gods in the future. And those of us are called the chosen people of God. As for you, mutator, the 1 in a million mutation in the accessories can be used to extract the seeds from the accessories through the ritual of the pentagram. At this moment, the team member beside him whispered, Captain, You talk too much? Oh, yes. I'm sorry, but you can only go to hell when you know this. There is a scarlet pentagram on the face of Scar, who has taken off his clothes, and the lines flow during this period. Just like blood, the right hand began to swell, and with a crash, the three-edged sword engraved with the pentagram was pulled out. My mission today is to send you to hell. The panic that I thought did not appear on Maliki's face. On the contrary, there was a hint of ridicule. A squeak. The sound of mice echoed in the alley, and the dim sky looked a little gloomy. Pen Fun Library. You, what are you laughing at? Don't cry. How could we possibly lose with home field advantage? Isn't he just pretending to be calm? Maliki, who was being ridiculed, did not panic at all, and said with a smile, really? Why don't you look back? Chapter 261. Looking back, what happened? There are always some people who do not know how to repent until they die. Scar turned around with disdain on his face, and was ready to sneer a few words. I saw a man rushing towards him with a glowing sword. Fuck, who is this? Are you a cat? Why is there no sound when walking? People of what era are they? Why do they still carry out sneak attacks? Not talking about martial arts, and sneak attacks on my unprepared comrade. The identity of hunter and prey began to change at this moment. Originally, Scarface took off his clothes to show Maliki, who was dying as God's chosen people. What kind of power does he have? Result: before I can show it, I'm going to spit it out. Taking off half of the clothes has become a burden at this time. The activated lightsaber instantly split Scar's face in half. Pen Fun Library, except for the hideous face tattoo on the shoulder, which blocked it a little. Black smoke came out the other parts. The hand rises and falls. It's a smooth one. The younger brother next to him was stunned. In the first few seconds, Maliki was still in desperate pain. Now, identity reversal. The clown is me. No, where did these people come from? Why did we set up a net in the slums, and we didn't see them? And also, that glowing stick is our lightsaber. Absolutely, we just invited Maliki over for tea. Why are you so serious? Hit people with lightsabers? Thank you. Don't you look down on us too much? The younger brother next to him was first shocked, confused, and finally panicked. In just a few seconds, I experienced the ups and downs in my life. Forgive me, I can say whatever you want to know. The voice of Su Zhao's translation came from the walkie-talkie in a timely manner. Would you like to keep it? Liu Boran began to speak again. What are you keeping? Yuan Farron interrupted directly when he saw that he was about to speak again. We have Su Zhao here to investigate, infiltrate, and detect information. We don't need the help of others. Su Zhao told me just now that its underground forces are already infiltrating north of Bam City. At this rate, they will control all the underground forces in Bam City, and one more person outside the team will only cause us trouble. Hearing the captain's explanation, he felt right. Of course, in terms of IQ, it is the one who will never admit that he is low. Hey, Su Zhao, please translate. We will let Maliki take care of this prisoner. If you let him feel the hideous expression on the other's shoulder, there should be unexpected gains. From Scarface's explanation, Maliki is a mutant, although they are not accessories. But, as the chosen people of God, there may be different harvests. When Su Zhao passed the message to Maliki through the walkie-talkie, the latter's eyes lit up. Regardless of the fact that he was hunted down and his mother became a sacrifice, he hoped that this group of people would pay their debts with blood. The younger brother also shivered when he heard this again. I beg for mercy, and you are still prepared to do this? Can't you let me go? No, you must escape. Before he made any move, he was knocked down by Yuan Farron next to him. Damn. Dragon Kingdom Kung Fu, you are from the Dragon Kingdom. I will definitely. Seeing that he could not escape, the younger brother hurriedly reached out to the walkie-talkie next to him without saying a word. Maliki picked up the knife with a pentagram engraved on the ground and inserted it into his shoulder like Scarface. He also had a hideous expression drawn on his shoulders. The difference? The area covered isn't as large, and the expressions aren't as vivid. It's as if halfway through the painting, but there is not enough paint. The moment the knife was inserted, the younger brother kept screaming. There were also traces of black smoke coming out of his body, and he looked closely at the faces of people who were screaming silently. All are painful. What is this? Except for Su Zhao, who was on guard, everyone else was stunned. Originally everyone thought that this was just a tattoo, but now it looks like it was engraved with fresh life offerings. Except for Liu Boran, the other three members of the lightsaber team thought of something. The expressions on his face ranged from surprise, shock, and finally anger. Hold on, never put down the knife with a pentagram engraved on it. Su Zhao also acted as a translator. I know, remove at the beginning. I was terrified. What happened next has made Maliki understand something. The ferocious expressions may be those of those who are willing to be sacrifices. That's roughly what they mean when they say they have become God's chosen people. He now understands a little bit why the official staff would first ask for every treatment before ask if you are willing to be a sacrifice. Is it because God has not recovered? If it is not willing to be a sacrifice, the power will not be drawn as much. They also can't get that much power. Thinking of this, anger began to emerge from the bottom of my heart. Is this what you call God's chosen people, born in the slums? They have no status in this life, and in the end, there is hope. Think you are the official hope organization, but in the end, not only did some people volunteer to be sacrifices to the ceremony, but they even became tattoos and painted on you as a way for you to gain power. Pen Fund Library. What's even more tragic is that people who have successfully rescued are not completely healthy and alive. Instead, they planted a parasitic seed in their hearts, and when the gods you were looking forward to began to descend and needed to regain their strength, they became your steps again. Not on this room. How can this country be overthrown? Maliki's eyes were red, and he was extremely angry. He thought of the moment when his mother became a sacrifice, and even when he died, he still left his heart. Dear Maliki, I'm sorry to say goodbye to you in this way. How can a mother see her dear child die in front of her eyes? Even if it's a 1 in 10,000 chance, it's worth trying for me. I heard that this will make you wake up, but there is no way. I can only choose this way if there is a chance in the future. I hope to give you a better way to grow. It was this voice that made him the one-of-a-kind mutant at the most difficult time, but finally, he got away with it, not an accessory but was beaten endlessly. If there is darkness everywhere in this world, then I will be the only light in this world. You are going to die for the Lord? Maliki growled. Chapter 262. Addicted to fishing. Law enforcement. A trace of black light emerged from the grim expression on the younger brother's shoulder. He lingered on the knife, slowly as if he had found a vent, and was sucked in by Maliki. This is. The other four in the lightsaber squad watched in astonishment. Inadvertently, it seems that key information has been discovered at this time. Maliki's eyes began to emerge with other rays of light. His face was dark and unclear, and his expression was a little painful, as suffering from a strange pain. Captain, he is. What's the matter? Liu Born will always be the kind of curious baby who loves to play and eat. It should be waking up to something. Awakened. I originally wanted to refute, but after thinking about it carefully, even the 5-pointed star has the effect of saving people. Maliki, who is a mutant, is not a normal thing to wake up, and everything was exactly as he had imagined. The condition of the voters, the source of their power, is that the people who become sacrifices become tattoos and are blocked on the voters. Maliki of the mutants kills them and begins to awaken the power in the future. In the ritual of the pentagram, the seeds in the heart of the accessory will be eliminated. This is also the reason why the high-level personnel, who are afraid of the mutants, are constantly growing in strength. The time lasted a minute. Everything started to calm down like nothing happened. Only Maliki began to have some tattoos on his body. Unlike the hideous expression on Scar's face, the expression on his shoulders is all serene. They closed their eyes and smiled, as if they were relieved. How do you feel? Su Zhao translated the words to Maliki. Maliki's clenched fist opened and closed. There is a trickle in the body, and the muscles of the whole body can be mobilized at will. Is this what power feels like? I feel more empowered than before. Yuan Thirin nodded. Mutants were rare, and even to some extent, he felt that the upper limit of mutants was higher than that of God's chosen people, and I seem to be able to feel something, Maliki said, pointing to the knife engraved with the pentagram. The people around listened patiently, and Maliki tried to summon it in his heart, but there was no response. It seems that I am now a little too weaker. Yuan Thirin seemed to understand something. Do you feel that your strength has increased a lot now compared to the original time? Yeah, Maliki nodded after thinking for a while. That's it. That's fine. Everyone, listen, let's change the strategy for the next action. Our main task is to catch the rest of the people and control their actions. The final fatal blow, let Maliki deal with it, okay? The two people around him guessed the reason through the conversation between the captain and Maliki. Only Liu Born asked stupidly, Captain, why do you want to change the target of the action? In order to make him stronger as soon as possible. Hey, Scarface, speak up. Scarface, what do you mean? Are you going to have fun again? There are 4 teams in total on patrol today. The upper level divides the slum into 4 directions, east, west, south, and north. 4 teams are sent from each location. There are 2 people in each team, and they talk through the walkie-talkie during the period. Judging from yesterday's position, the position today is the position where Maliki is least likely to appear. Then, everyone just patrolled for a while since 10 minutes ago. The news of Scarface has been unavailable, made, he has already become God's chosen people, and he is still such a scumbag. I used to like to relax when I went out on a mission, but now I still don't know that people like us need to be kept secret now. The bearded younger brother next to him began to answer, Boss, do you think he deliberately turned off the walkie-talkie because he wanted to swallow the bounty? No way. As soon as the idea came up, it was denied. Yesterday Maliki was in the northern part of the slum, and they were in the south in a few hours. It is absolutely impossible to escape from the large-scale search of the patrol team, not to mention that they were still holding instruments. Probing as they walked, even a little mouse would not understand the various trails of the slum so well. Besides, the little mouse will take the initiative to help Maliki as a human. Impossible. He is a mutant, but not an animal relative. Everything is normal. With eyes, the captain of the Mirror cut off the time and started the daily report at the same time. I thought in my heart, anyway, someone has already set a precedent. When he is doing a task, he will play, and I will play a little bit, which is not too much. Just as he was about to instruct the bearded little brother, the instrument on his body rang, drop, 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 drop. This is, Glasses raised his head and fixed his eyes on the glasses on his face. Maliki, and Maliki, who was running in front, turned back in horror, as if afraid of the two people who suddenly appeared. Say yes, he is running forward. Boss, the target has appeared, let's hurry up. The bearded little brother always remembers the task of patrolling, and is preparing to report the appearance of the target. Crack, the head was slapped hard. One was unstable and almost fell. Boss, why are you hitting me? Damn, I see you are going to report. Don't hit anyone. Glasses is righteous. Isn't our mission very clear? When Maliki is discovered, we will report it. Damn it, if we are caught, those huge bounties will not belong to us. Boss, I think, you think it's a fart. I don't want you to think, I want me to think. Glasses hated iron, turned his head and pointed, just like Maliki. Can he threaten us? I always feel that something is wrong, but I don't know exactly what is wrong. Looking at the background that the captain had already run out, Beard gritted his teeth and followed again. Maliki, stop for me. Who knows? Maliki in front really stopped. He turned his head and smiled. You made me stop? Don't regret it. Regret? Why should I regret it? A few minutes later, there was the same screaming sound as before. How do you feel? Yuan Farron turned around and asked. As you guessed, I can indeed grow in strength. Looking at the smiling Maliki, Yuan Farron asked uncertainly, how do I feel? You are a little addicted to fishing law enforcement. Hey, Captain, that's what you said. I'm just an ordinary little fish. Lightsaber Squad, Su Zhao. Chapter 263. God really appears? In the plan of several people, Maliki was originally the weakest party. Opposite is a special team with weapons to arrest him, and the instruments on his body can accurately locate his direction. As a mutant, he should not be able to deal with the chosen people of God. The results of it, Scarface, who was too greedy, revealed the information after one shot into the soul. He captured enough power. Then the mutants began to change their identities, indulge in everyday fishing with the Lightsaber Squad. In the eyes of others, Maliki is a piece of fish that can be slaughtered as long as you take his head. You can have a high bounty and live a happy life from then on. For Maliki, the Wandering Pursuit team is a steady stream of energy base stations. There are couriers specially delivered and even packaged. Why not? At least in this aspect, the rest of the squad see Maliki that way, hope to complete the first kill and get the desired bounty. In particular, Maliki's face was full of fear, lively expressions. Then, everyone followed one after another, and the Gore baby rescued the grandfather and came to deliver them one by one. Quick, quick, Maliki has appeared. This is a mutant. The younger brother next to him frowned and said uncertainly, but, boss, those teams in front of you are no longer in contact. The future will be discussed later. Maybe they are going to play as God's chosen people. Who can hurt them in the slums? It seems right. Hurry up. Wait for the next person to run away. A few seconds later, there was another familiar sound of awe. The Lightsaber Squad of 4 stood beside Maliki, looking at him with a complicated expression. For some reason, they always felt that they were working for the guy in front of them. There are still 3 directions, or forget it today. Never mind. Hearing this, Maliki hesitated. Otherwise, let's continue. Gan, it's like you are a fisherman. Forget it today. Yuan Farron continued, wiping his lightsaber beside him. Actually, we have already learned the corresponding information. The voice of Su Zhao came from the walkie-talkie. Let me summarize now. The strength of the orientation team comes from the area under control during this time phase, the number of sacrifices offered through the ritual. The more sacrifices of the pentagram, the stronger the team's overall strength. The approximate location of the laboratory is to the north of Bam City. I heard that there is a top laboratory dedicated to serving the rich. From their communication, the extraterrestrial meteorite should be placed there. The strength of the guards is strong, and there are many people. In addition to their group of voters, there may be other higher-level clerics in the laboratory, clergy. This title is also the new news that the lightsaber squad has learned from the arresting squad. They are the most common voters. On top of this, I heard that there are sacrifices, high priests, stronger than them of course. This is only what they heard after all. The orientation team is not qualified to enter the laboratory in the north there. The projection of God can be seen. I heard that the coming of God is not far behind, therefore, they will speed up the progress and secretly attack the civilians in the slums of Bam City. Then shall we start moving north from tomorrow? Everyone stayed in the slums. On the one hand, they wanted to wait for the result of the invasion of Su Zhao's forces, and on the other hand, they wanted to train Maliki and wait for him to grow up. Now, Maliki's strength has reached a bottleneck, and he can no longer improve his strength by absorbing God's chosen people. It's not a wise choice to stay any longer. Maybe you will miss the most critical moment of action. Hey, Su Zhao, how's your invasion? The guinea pig, who is always talking nonsense, became serious when he heard this question. Fuck. The situation is much more difficult than I expected to advance. I can only win half of the power. Moreover, judging from the current situation, I can't win the other half of the power north of Bam City. Why? Liu Born wondered. In fact, this is what Yuan Farron wanted to ask only after they really cooperated. Did they know how terrifying Su Zhao, who was successfully researched by Professor Su through the genetic biological warrior, the deterrent power brought by the products transformed by the biological enzymes of the mythical creatures? It's really not a blue stars creature, and it can withstand it if you change the place. Maybe even those flying in the city, on the ground, or swimming in the water off all in one day. This time, it's been a few days. Only half of the underground forces north of Bam City were taken down. Again, they don't talk about martial arts. Judging from the news from my downline, it is the so-called clergy who have ended, mad, at least at the high priest level. It's really unreasonable. Why should the clergy end? They waited for me. If I get caught, the weapon arsenal that Professor Su gave me, I will let them try the power. I see. Yuan Farron pondered. The day before yesterday, Su Zhao did not say such news. It seems that their experiment has entered a critical time. Thinking of this, Yuan Farron's face tightened, and he turned to ask Maliki solemnly, do you have the energy now to follow us? After being translated by Su Zhao, Maliki was taken aback and nodded solemnly. Well, Yuan Farron turned around and looked at the surrounding team members with a serious expression. Their experiment has entered the most critical time. We immediately marched through the city and ran to the northern laboratory in Bam City. We will try to arrive tomorrow morning. Do you understand? Understood. Okay, Su Zhao, you will clear the way for us. No problem. I've been wanting to get them. These bear children, grandmas, put it in front of me. Dragon Country, Space-Based Chengduorong and Zhang Yazi, who are supposed to leave after completing the project, were left behind. Both of them knew that this was the back door that Professor Su opened for them. The former is still studying Professor Su's genetic biological warrior, striving to learn the core knowledge. The latter, involved in more advanced plans. It was the space-based project that was established just a few days ago, can be a glorious part in a national heavy equipment project. Zhang Yazi is very happy. After having the experience of participating in this kind of project in the future, wouldn't it be easy to get a doctor's certificate? Maybe. You can also directly enter the national top secret project. No, this project is already a top secret project. I heard that the platform for space-based weapons is built with anti-gravity engine, and the space-based weapon itself is the God-killing version. Killing God. Could it be that God has already appeared in this world? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264. Who can use a normal person in number 039, S face? Some people in the base also noticed this, God-killing version? So, there will be gods in our world soon. People who can stay in the base to do scientific research can turn their brains faster. After a little comparison, I thought that Su Zhao went to the front line in the dark some time ago. There should be. Professor Su's genetic bio-warrior project has made the guinea pigs talk. It also broke the historical honor of the school. Tisk tisk tisk. As soon as I mentioned this, I remembered the complex expression of the instructor. It was both happy and sighing. "Hey, you said that Su Zhao was going to investigate that matter." "It's possible," someone replied, then turned to look at the blueprint in front of them. He said uncertainly, "Will it be possible? The god-killing version of the space-based weapon is also prepared for that thing. It makes sense. Then, the whole world will be in chaos soon." Just as the atmosphere began to decline, someone interjected, Hey, what are you doing? What about God? If Professor Su can study Su Zhao to deal with the things ahead, there will definitely be a backhand. Look at what is written on this design drawing, God-killing version. Do you know what it means? And, the anti-gravity engines are out. We're not far from entering the interstellar age. Understand, people who were originally in a low mood, their emotions began to rise. Yes, with Professor Su here, what are these things? That is, the space-based weapons have come out. Mechas, spaceships, will these be too late? Of course not, in a base office. Xu Teng is viewing the properties of the panel. Current level, LV3, contribution value, 4,000/5,000, energy point, 70. With the last 1,000 contribution points, the level of the system can be improved. The last time the system level was upgraded, there were more badge upgrade points, so that badge upgrades, from passive skills to active skills. If the system reaches level 4, it should unlock new things. The most critical point is, the increase of energy points. The last 30 energy points are left to unlock before 100 energy points. Let space-based weapons be. If the task is completed, it should be able to wake up the sleeping system. It's just not clear whether we can get information about meteorites from the system. The meteorites that fell on the beautiful country in East Afghanistan, no matter how you look at them, look like the behavior of a higher civilization. He rubbed his brows to ease the tension. He has been busy since he received the news from the squad in front yesterday, busy with the design of space-based weapons. Today's blueprints are not the same as they were in the first days, and you won't have everything packaged for you. Some of the key information needs to be designed by you. For example, in space-based weapons, the projectile part of the device needs to use the magically modified Milovsky particle part as a power source. Where to put the power source, what method to use when projecting, the laser part of the device, what equipment is used to achieve the purpose of tracking, how to carry out precise positioning. These are part of the consideration. After all of these are mostly busy, the time has come to the morning dressed in clothes, looking at the busy researchers outside. Xu Teng has a strange emotion. We chose this kind of life to protect thousands of ordinary people. God, what happens when you come? I'm waiting for you to come. Looking at the transparent screen on the other side, the anti-gravity engine was suspended in midair. We will eventually defend you from outside the blue star. Ding. The badge lock time limit has expired. Start unlocking. Ding. The badge owned by the host has been unlocked and can be used at any time. Listening to this series of system prompt sounds, Xu Teng showed a long-lost smile. Leave the rear to me, Su Zhao. You must persevere in the front. Bam City, north compared with the dilapidated houses in the slums in the south. The north is like a place where normal people live. There is no litter on the ground, sewage flowing everywhere, and flies flying all over the sky. The distance between houses is not so narrow either. It's only a few tens of minutes apart, but it feels like the distance between heaven and hell. In the team, the other 4 people also behaved very calmly. After all, it's not that we haven't seen pass. Only Su Zhao became silent. Pen Fun Library in the front. Because I was entangled with the underground forces with the clergy, I didn't notice the situation on the ground. Seeing it with my own eyes at this moment, it fell silent. He vaguely understood a little why the official staff would do something in the slum. In their eyes, there is a big gap in life between the two. Some people live, indeed, and die no different. Turn left, then right. There are surveillance cameras in front of you. Pay attention to follow the little mouse in front of you and go to the dead end. Okay, although all the underground half of the forces north of Bam City were controlled by Su Zhao. However, the patrolling people on the ground still need to pay attention. The little mouse in front of the team was sent by Su Zhao to be precise, snatched under the control of the clergy when the lightsaber team carried out fishing law enforcement operations. Su Zhao had already deployed underground forces. The underground forces in the slums won the land very quickly. As it expands to the north, it begins to encounter obstacles, especially when expanding to the experimental base. The closer the distance, the greater the resistance. At last, Su Zhao can no longer be extended by remote control, so he has to go in person. This is also the reason why Su Zhao left the team on the way the lightsaber team came over. Su Zhao also explained the situation. His expansion along the way has robbed half of the underground forces on the opposite side. and the north of Bam City has reached a situation of half the world. The clergy of the pentagram must have also reacted and knew that someone had invaded. The 4 members of the lightsaber squad are the 1 in a million special forces. It is not a problem to avoid surveillance and go to a blind spot only. The actions of Maliki, whose strength has increased greatly, are so clumsy. Boom. Maliki put his face on the ground at the last moment in order not to be discovered. It's alright. In order to walk into the blind spot of monitoring, I still struggled a little bit, and landed with my face. It hurts to look at. It's okay. It should be that the strength has improved, and the thickness of the face has also increased. I believe it. Several people said in unison. Who is a normal person who had put his face on the ground, and in the end, his expression had not changed a little bit. Su Zhao, what's the situation? Chapter 265 Art of War. Yuan Farron asked through the walkie-talkie. Everything is normal. When you came, you were not found. That's good. Hearing this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. After all, it was a bit too hard to avoid surveillance with your face on the ground. Can you find a safe house? The north and south sides of Bam are different because of the official action. Many people in the slums have become sacrifices and died silently. This also creates a situation. Some houses become empty rooms. Turning it into a safe house is not difficult, but in the north, an inch of land is an inch of gold. A safe house can be found. Yuan Farron was stunned by Su Zhao's answer except for Liu Baran. The other 3 felt bad. The detection team I just released told me that some houses around are vacant. Combined with various intelligence analysis, it is not a problem to use it as a safe house. After a little thought, Yuan Farron frowned and asked, did the vacancy appear recently, or did it appear a long time ago? It only appeared recently. After being silent for a while, Su Zhao continued, according to the information of the detection team, there are some strange smells in the house. The smell is very strong, and they are not willing to approach. The smell is very strong. Do not want to approach. Yuan Farron turned to look at Maliki to say, which of the 5 people will judge the smell more? That must be him. The mutants who can be chased and killed by everyone are not the kind of people who can definitely find out the situation. Why don't you go with us? Listening to what Su Zhao translated, Maliki nodded. In fact, he was also a little curious about what those strong smells would be. As a mutant, he has things he needs to accomplish, especially after the more in-depth understanding of the sacrifice ceremony of the pentagram. His goal became from her pen fund library. Lead the way. Well, you still follow that little mouse. As a genetic biological warrior, Su Zhao has his own tasks to do. Even if the lightsaber few people did not encounter the enemy, Su Zhao, in order to compete with the clergy of Bam City, snatched the territory of the underground forces. Both of them were about to blow their minds. Originally, Su Zhao thought that the priesthood personnel are transformed from human beings. It can be accompanied by constant fights and reports of various information. It gradually discovered that the so-called underground king on the north side of Bam City might be controlled by some kind of creature like it. Listening to the reports of the younger brothers around, Su Zhao, who was sitting on the orange cat's head, frowned. The turf war has failed again. Maid, why does the other party still have tactical arrangements? Do you want to be so perverted? Originally, Su Zhao's plan was to besiege Wei to rescue Zhao, and pretend to attack the stronghold on the opposite side, then secretly divided the force to attack another stronghold of ground traffic in the entire territory. The ground transportation stronghold of that piece has important military value as long as it can be knocked down. The north side of Bam City can be completely divided, perfectly formed. Half of the country can result. The opposite came directly to lure the enemy into the depths. The troops that Su Zhao feigned to go to reinforce were surrounded. Fortunately, one of Su Zhao's 3 generals noticed in time and did not attack when the encirclement was completely formed. Otherwise, the fun is booming. Half the force was about to be swallowed. Gan. Retreat, retreat, everyone find a place to repair. Su Zhao waved his arms. Clap la la. The surrounding troops began to retreat in an orderly manner. Su Zhao didn't expect that it would show great power in the base. He had only studied for a few hours, but he convinced the instructor available here, almost fell into the trap of a mysterious creature. Mad. Think about it and get angry. I'll look at the art of war. The last time Xu Teng gave Su Zhao the ring, he not only put various small weapons, but also added a microcomputer and put a microscreen into it. This is Xu Teng's backup to Su Zhao. He knew that a few hours of study was still a little less for Su Zhao, but because there is too strong learning ability, as long as he has the opportunity to learn, he can definitely learn more things. I just don't know if the smell's left in the room. Whether the lightsaber team can find favorable information, Everyone followed Su Zhao's detectives and walked out cautiously. Come to the north of Bam City and give the lightsaber squad the most. It is a deep feeling the surveillance here is much stricter than that in the south. At the same time, the surrounding business atmosphere is much stronger. Although there are not many pedestrians on the road, and there are not many people shopping, there are quite a few scattered shops: Starbucks, KFC, Carrefour Suit Store, Jewelry Store. Captain, what's the point of them opening these stores? Obviously there aren't many customers, so go in and spend. There are always people who do a lot of meaningless things first, and then there are more meaningful things in the end. Liu Boren, although I don't know what you are talking about, but I was shocked. Turning their heads, the four of them all looked at Maliki. The latter turned around beautifully and landed firmly on the ground. How can anyone use their face to land on the ground all day long? Do normal people do this? No way. Lightsaber team of 4, what's going on? I always feel that this person's style of painting is going to be weird. Is it because of the long-term relationship with people like Su Zhao? After all, Su Zhao came to translate every time the little mouse who led the way stopped in front of the door, and this was the room. Su Zhao said. He stepped forward slowly. Without opening the door lock turned, and the door was slowly pushed open. You are here. The frightened few people took their breath away. Su Zhao, why are you here? Hey, don't mention it. If it wasn't for that little thing being too good at fighting, I would have captured the north of Bam City. Now I can only read the military book and think of a way. Military book? Learning the art of war. Listen, is this what a normal animal would say? There are not many people in the team, but few people are normal. Come in first. Don't stand outside. Pen Fun Library. It is good. Everyone filed in, and as soon as they entered the room, they smelled a faint smell, which was a little familiar, but I couldn't tell what was wrong. Is this what you mean by smell? The surrounding empty rooms basically have the smell you said. Su Zhao nodded. It knows that for animals, the smell is more pungent. For humans, the smell is relatively weak even if you don't smell it carefully. You won't find anything unusual at all. Only, Maliki frowned. Chapter 266 Pattern Lighting. The smell is a little too strong, Maliki muttered. The rest of the lightsaber team didn't understand, and they looked like you were talking about something. Only Su Zhao was stunned. You say the smell is too strong? Tell me what you found. Originally it just wanted to try, thinking Maliki had a chance to find something. Looking at it now, it is true that important information has been discovered. The smell of sacrifice. Maliki tried to sniff his nose and continued, no, it's different from the normal sacrificial taste. There are some other, God's chosen people, Su Zhao said uncertainly. That's right, this is it. Maliki lowered his body and rubbed the surrounding traces with his fingers. Although everything is normal on the ground, in the overall situation, nothing can be found in particular. There are some fresh paints left on the ground, as if they were specially designed to cover up something. Pen Fun Library. Rubbed it with my fingers, and put the scent on my fingers to my nose to smell it. Standing up, he said with certainty, the smell is similar to that of God's chosen people, but there are some subtle differences. It's hard to say what it is, because I haven't seen it either. If you see it, are you sure you can tell it apart? Maliki nodded. Okay. Su Zhao began to convey what Maliki said to the lightsaber team. The crowd listened quietly. The mutants are so strong that the tiny smells can be distinguished. This is probably the reason why Maliki was hunted down. It's only been so long. If you give him a little more time, maybe he will grow to another fearful level. It makes sense. It's only been a few days. Then, Captain, what are we going to do next? Several people looked back at Yuan Farron in terms of action. Several people listened to Yuan Farron's task assignment request. The action in the slums has wiped out one of their squadrons. Su Zhao's offensive here must have attracted their attention. Combining the time, it can be roughly inferred that they came here coupled with the disappearance of Maliki of the mutants. Don't look at the fact that they are staying in the safe house now. In fact, the surrounding vigilance has already reached a strict range if as before. The fishing enforcement operation is again implemented. Obviously not possible. Maybe as soon as the bait was thrown, they were surrounded by a group of people. Your own safety cannot be guaranteed. Let's first ask Su Zhao's detection team to explore the road ahead. If you find someone with a smell on your body, pass the news in time. We will decide whether to arrest or not based on the actual situation. Now, everyone is trapped in the enemy's area. The task that Professor Su has given us must be the first. Don't rush out without getting favorable information. Clear. After the task was clarified, Su Zhao patted the orange cat's head under the seat. The latter signaled, meow to go to release the task. Looking at Su Zhao, who was looking at the miniature screen with his legs crossed, Liu Born was a little puzzled. Why, you little guinea pig likes to walk around on an orange cat so much? I want you to take care of it. Oh, the little mouse has a great temper. Who did the little mouse say? What about you, little mouse? Yuan Firen, Tang Yuan, degree, Wang Doyu, who was wiping his lightsaber, stopped and snorted coldly. Cut, weak, Bam City, North, a scientific research base pen fund library at this time. The researchers in white coats walked in a hurry. Hurry up, cheer up, the preparations have entered the final stage, don't yawn all the time. As God's chosen people, you have already gained a lot of strength from Him. Now is the time we should give. The pentagram pattern on the meteorite will soon be filled. Soon, we will witness the beginning of greatness. He turned his head and looked at the final progress of the pentagram above the meteorite. The researchers began to get excited again. Originally, all the people in the base believed in science until the person in charge parsed out the pattern of part of the pentagram on the meteorite. Occasionally, it has been found to have a near reviving effect. Is this science? No, this is God's will. Later, he gradually discovered that the pentagram has various uses. Various diseases can be cured through sacrifice, and their souls can even be engraved on the shoulders of the performers through certain rituals. In this way, you can gain power far beyond ordinary people. As for those offerings, please, they are all proactive. What is there to be unhappy about if you are willing to be the sacrifice of God for them? It's a reward they can integrate into God at the end, and contribute their lives for the coming and giving of God. This is simply a great business. Ha ha ha, we succeeded. Success, and soon, you will be able to see the coming of God. It's finally here. Suddenly, the surrounding researchers were cheering. There are some people, hugging each other in celebration, weeping with joy. Pilbul turned his head, saw that the pentagram pattern on the meteorite was finally filled, and slowly exhaled. The hard work has finally paid off. Pick up your phone and enter a string of numbers. Beep. After the call was connected, there was a voice of vicissitudes. Hey, High Priest, the patterns on the meteorite have all been lit up. The breathing sound on the opposite side was a little tighter and silent, as if to calm down his emotions. Then he asked in a serious voice, "Are you sure?" "Well, I saw it with my own eyes." The five-pointed star on the wall began to flicker continuously, like an object being used for positioning. "Well then, the responsibility of the base is handed over to you, as ordered. By the way, the mutant Maliki may already be nearby. You pay attention. Don't worry, I will never let him break into the base. He should not be alone. And there are helpers. Half of the forces underground in Bam City are no longer under my control." Real. Hearing this sentence, Pilbul was a little surprised. As a priest, he has the right to know the general situation of Bam City. When they targeted the slums in the south, they had already brought the entire situation in Bam under control, not only on the ground, but in the sky, and even the species in the sewers are all under control. Otherwise, how can one-stop service be achieved? But now, actually lost. Let me handle this matter. You can manage the place you are responsible for. You know what the loss of the base means. Chapter 267 Soft Persimmon. Of course Pilbul knew what it meant to lose the meteorites in the laboratory, as well as various parameter data, our invaluable treasures. If, really because of their own carelessness, let the whole laboratory begone suicide. Apology, 10,000 times are not enough. While wiping his sweat, Pilbul said, "I will definitely stick to my post and strengthen the base's guard force. And I will never let the base fall. HMPH, it's good that you know." Looking at the hung-up call, Pilbul quickly took the walkie-talkie and issued one order after another. Base patrol, 3 times a day. Extend the radius of patrols and send newly converted voters to patrol as well. Yes, with a new order issued, Pilbul felt reassured. Underground forces. There is a high priest watching near the base. There are more guards patrolling. Can you get in? Impossible. Flying dragon riding a face. How will he lose? On the other side, several members of the lightsaber team were discussing, "Captain, in my opinion, the strength of the guards will definitely increase." Yuan Firen, "Hey, Captain, why are you looking at me like this? Could it be that I'm wrong?" Tang Yuan turned to look at Liu Born and couldn't help but reminded, "You said it well, don't say it again next time." Wang Doi's hand wiping the lightsaber stopped, and Yuan Firen asked, "What's wrong?" The 4 people have a clear division of labor, and Wang Doyu has always done the vigilance, never had a problem. "Oh, it's back." Wang Doyu continued to wipe his lightsaber. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a knock on the door. "Tada tada, it's the code I said earlier." Liu Born hurried over to open the door, the familiar orange cat, and Su Zhao sitting on the orange cat. There was one thing he didn't understand. Good genetic creature warriors as a precious breed of mice that can talk. Why is there a preference for orange cats? How is the situation outside? Now, the northern side of Bam City has secretly strengthened the guard force. Su Zhao is usually the one who can go out, and the others are waiting for the news report in the safe house. Su Zhao patted the orange cat on the head, who bowed his head obediently and let it come down. Stretch out your hand, Liu Boren. He was stunned and asked uncertainly, what are you doing? Isn't it obvious what I meant? Come here with a bigger piece of white paper. Why do you want me to take it? Can't you ask someone else? Just as Liu Boren turned his head, others looked at him with a complicated look. Don't you know why? No, some people still don't know their team's brother position. Liu Boren, Gan. I was speechless when the white paper was spread out in front of Su Zhao. The latter took a pen and thought for a moment, and then began to draw a picture. What is it doing? It's like drawing a picture. Su Zhao's ability to learn is very strong, which means that his memory is good this time. I went out to detect the news, not only to detect the patrol forces nearby at the same time, it is also to clarify the rules of the patrol team. The art of war said, this is called knowing oneself and knowing the enemy. So that you can attack everything. Houses, streets, and key buildings began to be marked on paper. The scale of the map is 150, and the range of patrols gradually increases from this street, radiating outwards. Su Zhao pointed to the red key building on the other side of the drawing. My scout team. Tell me this is a scientific research laboratory. It is the goal of our mission. Since last night, the surrounding guards have greatly increased. The territory of the underground forces began to multiply 2 streets away, and God's chosen people also receive the task of inspection. The time interval between the patrols is usually half an hour. Here is the patrol path of their various squads, and the patrols are generally used. The guards' strength increased just as they had guessed. Even God's chosen people are divided into several teams. It's a bit difficult, really, but when Yuan Farron picked up the map drawn by Su Zhao, he was stunned. Street Patrol A, like sweets, every time they patrol, they go to the dessert shop next door to buy a small bag of bread and cakes. Street Patrol B, his family was poor and he was often bullied when he was a child. Now that he has become God's chosen one, he must pass by the classmate who used to bully him every time, and that classmate opens the door at fruit shop. Street Patrol C, because he is still a single dog, his status has improved after becoming God's chosen person. He often strikes up a conversation with beauties he meets nearby. This horse, what are these? Originally, I thought that after this group of people became God's chosen people, their ability and quality would be greatly improved. After all, they guessed that the pentagram pattern on the meteorite should have been activated. The experiment has come to the most critical time. Judging from the information received, the coming of God is coming soon. It's time to get serious. But what the hell is this patrol team? I see that they are all like talents. Not only the childhood experience is wonderful, even now that his status has been improved, he has done something. Is it really a serious patrol list? No matter how you look at it. None of their patrols seem to be serious people because I'm a single dog. So, when I'm on patrol, I often go to strike up a conversation with the beauties. Gan, you are persecuting single dogs. If it weren't for the fact that the scene was really inappropriate, Yuan Farron would have almost couldn't help but complain. Yo, this list is so detailed. Su Zhao, you can. Wait, is this the top detective? Love, to say God teammates, those who graduated from Professor Su are different. Su Zhao, you should have a plan. Looking at the marked key building map in front of me, the general route of the patrol team, and the time of the shift, even hobbies are marked out as the captain. He more or less guessed some. Well, there are some ideas. Yo, then let's hear it. That's right, I have never heard a guinea pig command tactics. Su Zhao silently rolled his eyes. If you can't speak, don't speak. No one will treat you as dumb. Is such that, Su Zhao spread out his small hands, smoothed out the folds on the paper, and pointed to the 2 blocks away. According to the report of the investigation team, all the people of this patrol team have that kind of smell. I have used some means and saw the strength evaluation of several patrol teams, and they are the weakest. As the only soft persimmon, I think we can pinch it. Chapter 268 Corner. Su Zhao's words made everyone else's eyes light up. Judging from the current situation, it can indeed be done. Knowing the path of the patrol team, the specific time, and even the rules can be summed up. Sure enough, the more you understand, only your enemies will be. The parents didn't understand that. Then try. Liu Boren showed an eager expression. Well, let's target this patrol team. Maybe we can get more information on them. Turning their heads, Su Zhao began to explain their goal to Maliki in the plan. The last piece also needs to be completed by him. Mutants can affect accessories through the ritual of the pentagram. Then, no guessing wrong words. Maliki, through the ritual of the pentagram, should be able to influence the elect of these gods. How far it can go depends on the situation on the spot. How is their strength? Wang Doyu, who had been silent next to him, asked this question. Everyone else stopped what they were doing and turned to look at Su Chao. I don't even know this. As soon as the thought came to mind, Su Chao, who was silent for a while, began to speak. Judging from the intelligence of the reconnaissance team's response, it is a little weaker than the previous breath. Their judgment on breath has always been extremely accurate. So, if we have to deal with it, it is not difficult, isn't it difficult? Hearing this sentence, Yuan Firen lowered his head and thought for a while. It was originally planned to use various schemes. If the strength is weak, it is not difficult to deal with it, so why bother with tricks? Just go straight through. Su Chao, when you are in action, can you monitor the surrounding environment in real time? If there's an accident, you can report it to us as soon as possible. No problem. Su Chao patted his chest and said just a few words. Who are our brothers? It's no problem with this trivial matter, really. Liu Born expressed a little doubt. Didn't I just say before that the underground forces in Bam City are a bit difficult to break through? How long has it been? That's not right. Yesterday, Grandpa Su, I learned a little bit of the art of war. Now I'm learning and using it now. I used a trick to hide from the sky. That's what it is called. Wonderful. It just so happened that the block where you were operating was down. Unexpectedly, Su Chao, will always be the undefeated god of war, lightsaber squad. Damn it, how did this little mouse pretend to be Maliki at art of war? What is that? It seems to be very powerful. Can I learn it? Hurry up, where are you? Are you there? Now, it's our turn to start patrolling. Eben held a walkie-talkie and kept roaring. He, who was often bullied as a child, never imagined that one day he could become God's chosen people, and he became the captain of the patrol squad. The most crucial point is that the classmates who had bullied him were in the area under his jurisdiction a few years ago. Opening a store on the north side of Bam City was something to brag about among classmates. After all, this is the most prosperous area in East Afghanistan, although just a small fruit shop. But from the side can also reflect a lot of things. Just when Ibn thought he would live in his shadow all his life, someone found him, and the first sentence he said was, "Give you a life-changing opportunity. Do you want it?" Want. It is good. What happened next happened suddenly. With tenacious willpower, he became the lucky type of person immediately afterwards. He gained an unimaginable power in this life. The door of the new world opened to him, and he learned that besides Blue Star, there are other civilizations, and even gods, and he became the glorious chosen of God. Then, he was assigned, and patrols began north of Bam City. Become a squad leader and start bringing new people, and the former classmate happened to sell fruit here. Everything is right. On the day of the patrol, he deliberately went to the shop of his classmate, who didn't even dare to look up at him at that moment. He knew it is not that I hate powerful people, but that I do not have power. That's when he fell in love with patrol. I'm coming, Captain. It's really respectful and responsible. Listening to the bragging of the younger brother under his hand, Ibn was very useful, although both of them have a little problem. For example, Aziz likes during work hours, go to strike up a conversation with beautiful women. Saladin likes to go to the dessert shop and buy some sweets to eat. But are these important? It doesn't matter. They just make the little mistakes that patrols make after cleaning up. The three walked on the established patrol route again. Captain, I heard that there was good news from the laboratory last night. They completed the last task of the mission, and all the pentagram patterns in the meteorite were lit up. Well, Tribal Priest has officially notified us captains. Be careful of those intruders. Come on, just them. Aziz said disapprovingly. Can the orientation team in the slums be comparable to us? That's because they didn't meet us. If they did, I would let them know what cruelty is. Ibn was silent for a while after hearing this. Oops, did it blow too hard today? And was discovered just when Aziz was uneasy. Ibn raised his head and said seriously, I think what you said is right. He put his hands behind his back and took steps that he did not recognize. Hey, remember today, don't go too far. After all, you still have to do enough on the surface. I see. It really is the right choice to follow the captain. Captain, you will always be my idol. Looking at the back of the two leaving, Ibn smiled. The pentagram above the meteorite is lit, and the ceremony begins. It won't be long before the coming ceremony of the gods will begin. Pilbul priests once said, as long as the ceremony is completed, everyone can benefit. The crowd, including their team captains, and, according to the information disclosed by the high priest, sooner or later, they will take advantage of civilizations other than Blue Star to achieve a technological leap. Although the technology of this civilization is somewhat linked to theology, but are these important? Not important at all, as long as you become the boss. Whatever you say is right. Since he became God's chosen people, it has further verified the correctness of his thinking. Still the intruder? What the heck? If it weren't for the fact that the orientation team in the slum was too weak, you wouldn't really think you could do it at the next corner. A person suddenly stood in front of Eben. Chapter 269. A distinctly oriental face, with firm eyes and a serious expression, holding an unknown stick in his hand. Who are you and what are you doing here? Hey, you are on the path of God's chosen people. Do you want to die? Eben was furious just now. The younger brother was still touting in front of him, saying that following the captain was the wisest choice in this life. Not long after he finished speaking, there were unknown people who dared to stand in front of him without ashamed to be seen, especially the guy in front of him didn't take him seriously at all. The deep contempt drove Ibn mad. Why? It is clear that I have become God's chosen people in the new era. And I will still be favored by God in the future. Who do you think you are? Since you are looking for death yourself, then I will fulfill you. As he spoke, Ibn pressed his right hand on his left shoulder. He had only become God's chosen people not long ago, and the time of transformation was too short. There is not enough assurance to control this force. Therefore, every time you awaken the power, you need to put your hands on the soul tattoo to activate it. Clap la la. The sound of running water was heard, followed by black air surrounding Ibn's shoulders. The surrounding temperature began to drop at a level visible to the naked eye, and silently shouting faces emerged one after another in the black mist. Ibn's pupils began to turn black, and the black mist surged. A small knife with a pentagram slowly emerged from it. When Ibn grabbed it with his hands, black mist poured into his body. The moment everything calms down, Ibn's hands turned into long black knives with black pentagrams engraved on them, and even black mist gushed from the top of his body from time to time, constantly swallowing the surrounding air. Wang Doi stared at everything in front of him indifferently. The reason why he gave time to let Ibn release all the energy of the pentagram, there are two reasons. One is, Su Zhao said a word. Judging by his breath, Ibn's breath is only a little stronger than the orientation team in the slum. The other is, around, there are other people in ambush. In order to have a general understanding of the strength of the patrol team here, it is necessary for Ibn to fully release his own strength. After all, tool people don't need to be useless. But, if you think you can beat me, you think too much. One lightsaber can't deal with you. What about 2, 3, 4? A tool man must have the consciousness of a tool man. You, go and die for me. Ibn was very angry. Why didn't you run? Why didn't you say a word? You make me feel stupid. I am the chosen one of the noble God. What are you? The distance of a few meters was instantly shortened. After gaining strength, Ibn's physical qualities have been greatly enhanced. Such a close distance is a matter of a second. The hand that turned into a pentagram double knife started from the bottom to the upper left of Wang Doi. With the addition of the pentagram, the double knives are extra sharp, and everything is cut like tofu scum. Die? Facing the menacing Ibn, Wang Doi was unmoved. He didn't activate the lightsaber in his hand until the two knives started to lift from the upper left in the form of maximum oscillating power grip with both hands and block down the two knives. Cut. You don't know. Before he could finish speaking, Ibn was stunned. The double knives that used to be unfavorable in the past were now blocked by the activated lightsaber. Can't move for half a minute. What is this? Boom! Wang Doi raised his foot and kicked forward, kicking Ibn away. What are you babbling about? I'm bored. Wang Doi, who did not understand the language, did not understand every word that Ibn said. He just felt that the person in front of him was annoying. Snappadibn, who had just fallen to the ground, had not had time to speak. Wang Doi rushed in front of him, raised the lightsaber in his hand, and slashed at the place where his arms met. To shut up, the two knives were directly cut off by the lightsaber before Ibn could even scream. He rolled his eyes and passed out. The first confrontation ended with an instant kill by a lightsaber. The black mist gradually faded, and the pentagram began to dissipate. Yuan Farron's voice came from the headset. You won't kill him, right? In the plan, the team will capture all three of the patrol team alive. After all, the surrounding defense forces are already tight. Leading the team and entering the laboratory directly is not the best opportunity. After capturing the three alive, I hope to obtain favorable information, and, the most crucial point is, let Maliki of the mutants play Su Zhao through the interception of information. The patterns and materials for drawing the pentagram have been obtained with Su Zhao's strong learning ability. The ceremony can be learned immediately. Everyone wanted to try. Is Maliki the mutant really as destructive as others say? As long as they can make their enemies sick, they will be happy. This is a fact that will never change. No, I just passed out and was still breathing. Wang Doi approached and put his hand on his nose to test his breathing. Just cut off the hands that turned into double knives. Nothing serious. This is the first time Wang Doi has said so much. Obviously something feels wrong. Thinking about it carefully, there seems to be nothing wrong. Then we're going to the next place. You clean up the scene, it is good. Su Zhao possesses the deterrent power of the king, which can instantly make the surrounding creatures succumb to it. This is equivalent to real-time monitoring of all surrounding terrains, not to mention how many people can be seen around, and even their next movements can be predicted in advance. With the example of IBN, the strength of the other two people can also be roughly inferred within the next 2 minutes in different lanes. The same roar sounded. Who are you? Courting death? You die for me. The only difference is, Wang Doi was silent. It was only at the last second that he fought back, and the other lightsaber squad members, even if they don't understand the language, can still see from their expressions that they are scolding each other. The same black mist shrouded, and his hands turned into pentagram weapons of different shapes. The difference is, the other two did not generate a similar thin armor formed by black mist. They were all cut off by the lightsaber in the next second. The two comatose. The last thought ice. What the hell is this? Why is a glowing stick so powerful? Inside the safe house, Su Zhao is bowing his head and carefully drawing the start of the ceremony. Even with its powerful learning ability, it still feels exhausting. With a pentagram, the final stroke of the pattern is outline. The ceremony is completely complete. Clap his hands. Su Zhao turned to look at Maliki. How? Can you feel it? Chapter 270. Still alive? As Maliki's strength increased, some strange phenomena began to appear. The specific embodiment is, seeing the pattern of the pentagram, he can feel whether it can support the completion of the ceremony like a humanoid detector. As far as he became a mutant, he could achieve this level without a month's time. It really surprised a few members of the lightsaber team. Then, they can also understand why is Maliki of the mutants wanted by official personnel as a must-kill person who can bear this. Lowering his body, Maliki rubbed the pentagram pattern on the ground with his fingers. Feeling it carefully, the looming black energy began to linger in the body continuously. It's like looking for an outlet. Yes. This is it. Maliki nodded. The longer he stayed with the lightsaber squad, the more he noticed the difference between them. Talking guinea pigs are rare creatures, but this is not its most magical place. Powerful learning ability and reconnaissance ability. It is obviously just north of Bam City, and there are many guards here. Just now, I found the safe house. The other foreigners had a stick in their hand and a peculiarly shaped firearm around their waist. He had seen the stick glow before he knew it was a lightsaber. At the time, he was stunned. There are lightsabers in this world. Why this kind of weapon can really be made once you fight alone with others. It's not a hang-up, not to mention the power of the gun that hasn't been used yet. I'm afraid that with a bang, you don't even have your own ashes. When the lightsaber team chatted about tactics, they did not hide from Maliki because Xu Teng also gave an order. If possible, we must win this, comrade. In fact, everyone thinks so. A mutant with super growth potential, no matter what he thinks, he will be a good comrade. Your country hates you, so why not rely on our strength to build your brand new country then? The weapon invented by Professor Su is really useful. Professor Su, there will definitely be new projects. Don't worry. Everything can be left to Professor Su. These words often ring in Maliki's ears. Professor Su, who is it? This question has puzzled Maliki for a long time. It can be used. That's good. Su Zhao stretched his waist and muttered, at last, I haven't lost Professor Su's face. If it can't be used, then I will lose a lot of face. Speaking of which, Su Zhao deliberately looked at Maliki's face this time. Maliki hesitated for a moment, and there was a hint of struggle on his face. After all, he couldn't help but say, I want to ask, who is Professor Su? Sure enough, it still worked. As the saying goes, to like a person, start with curiosity about him, and in other words, to defect to a person, start with trust in him. Well, are you curious? Of course. Maliki nodded like a quail. See the glowing sticks on those players? It was invented by Professor Su. Gan. Sure enough, it was him. Maliki understood a little bit. You see the strange firearms wrapped around their waists? It was also invented by Professor Su. I go. At the last moment, Su Zhao turned his head and pointed at himself. You saw it too. Well, it's very powerful. Not only has strong learning ability, strong reconnaissance ability, but also can speak. A proud look appeared on Su Zhao's face. Yes, that's it. Brag. Don't stop. How comfortable. Result. Halfway through, Maliki began to understand something. Turning his head with a strange look, he asked uncertainly, what do you mean? Well, I also came out of Professor Su's laboratory. Fuck, Su Zhao responded. Yes, it's a scum. Maliki was startled. Horse riding? Are there really almighty researchers in this world? The lightsaber and the peculiarly shaped firearm do not mean that the manufacturer has relatively strong professional knowledge in the field of firearms. The results of it creatures come to, isn't that? The god behind the pentagram is not very good in the eyes of their professor soon. No wonder only these few people dare to go deep into the Longton Tiger Den. Originally, Maliki thought they were too hasty, but now look. It must be too naive. You will never know how terrifying the true strength of others is. Would you like to join Professor Su's team? This thought popped into Maliki's mind anyway. In my own country, East Afghanistan, I am either wanted or on my way to being wanted. He was already tired of the days of fleeing for thousands of miles. If there is a chance, set up a free country, why not try it? Looking at Maliki with a solemn expression, Su Zhao secretly rejoiced in his heart. Yo, the fish are starting to take the bait. Just when Maliki mustered the courage to speak, there was a sudden knock on the door. Tack tack tack. 3 long and 2 short, is the agreed mark. Don't worry. They're here. Su Zhao turned his head and said. Maliki nodded and went up to open the door. Outside the door, there are 3 lightsaber squads, each with a person on their back. Wang Doyu was on guard at the back. Everyone come in quickly. Su Zhao greeted a few people. Looking at the few people who filed in, Maliki was in a complicated mood. Obviously just a team of a few people. Bam City is the capital of East Afghanistan. The north of Bam City is the most heavily guarded and economically developed area in the entire country. But now, when you say you find a safe house, you really find a safe house. Said to carry a few people back. And really carried a few people back, and, judging from the injuries of the 3 people on the ground in the most violent way, he directly cut off his hands. Although Maliki could not imagine the whole process of the battle, it can be seen from the injuries of the 3 commodores. These 4 people were directly stunned. The first head-to-head confrontation, the lightsaber completely crushed. Don't you mean God's chosen people? As a result, this is it. What the hell? This is only when using a lightsaber. If that peculiarly shaped firearm is also involved in the battle, whether it is a sacrifice, a high priest, etc., it is nothing more than that pen fun labrarthi are real thighs. They must be hugged. Is the ceremony ready? Well, I also asked Maliki to test it, and it is indeed usable. Just what happened to them? Su Zhao turned his head and pointed at the 3 commodores people. It looks like it's dead, but it's not completely dead. Still alive? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271, The Avenger. In the plan made, the patrol team must be caught alive. So far, the ceremony that everyone saw started. Whether it is a sacrifice or a person standing in the pattern, it is a living being. If it affects the ceremony because it is dead, it will be a big loss. No, they're all alive, Yuan Farron explained. When we cut off their hands directly with a lightsaber, the other party fell into coma. At first, we thought they were dead. When I saw the healing effect of the pentagram pattern, it became clear. I just fell into coma. Follow the direction of Yuan Farron's finger to look over. The 3 lost their hands, but the wounds began to scab. If you look carefully, you can also see that there are fresh limbs slowly squirming. Is it recovering from an injury? No wonder. Seeing this situation, Su Zhao thought of the time when the army he controlled and the opposing forces were fighting in the sewers. They wouldn't have died so easily if they hadn't been mortally wounded in the first place. The chosen people of God. The original concept is not just human beings, other creatures also count. Damn. You guys can't afford to play, but you actually hung up. Su Zhao was a little indignant. No wonder he had to replenish his troops every once in a while. On the other hand, it was like drinking a stimulant counterattack again and again. No, I must find an opportunity to reply to Professor Su about the situation here. You can't afford to play. Use the pentagram pattern effect. Don't blame me. Apply for off-site assistance. Maliki, who was standing next to him, focused on a different point than the others. The expression on his face twitched, and he thought silently in his heart, fuck, they really used their lightsabers to rush over and cut off their hands. So violent. Just when Maliki wanted to say something, Su Zhao turned his head and urged, Maliki, it's your turn. We only have half an hour, so hurry up and perform the ceremony. Each patrol team has a fixed time. When the time is up, other patrol teams will be replaced. In the plan, they had only half an hour for the ceremony. Judging from the news they had received before, mutants have the strength to destroy the chosen people of God. Everyone wants to personally verify through Maliki. What is the use? What way to destroy God's chosen people? Maliki nodded and stood in the surrounding clearing. The 3 unconscious of the patrol team were placed in the position of the sacrificio. It's okay to be unconscious. Lest a few of us still need to use coercive physical means to make them obey. In the previous ceremonies, people came to ask the sacrificers thoughts. For example, excuse me, are you really ready to be a sacrifice? As Maliki's strength increased, He found himself able to skip this questioning method, force the ceremony to begin. The ceremony begins. Standing in the center, Maliki, who said these words, began to feel the difference in the surrounding environment. The temperature begins to drop in a way that is visible to the naked eye. The exhaled air turned into white air. The top of the wall began to climb from the bottom to the top, climbing the ice edge. The black mist no longer appeared slowly as before, but this time, it appeared all at once. It was so intense that it was hard to open your eyes. What's the matter? Liu Born was a little scared, of course. He wasn't worried about his own safety. Instead, he was worried about what happened to Maliki in the center of the ceremony. Comrades with great growth potential have not yet won over. If you accidentally die, it's really a big game. It should be fighting against something, Yuan Theron said with a frown. Can he do it? As soon as the words fell, the other three plus Su Zhao said at the same time, okay, the desire of the Avengers has always been the strongest. A mother died in front of her eyes, was hunted down by the state, and a large number of innocent people became victims to others. Maliki is a mutant and he understands what kind of mutant he is. Obviously the Avengers, the enemy, is not dead yet. How can he fall at this time? As everyone guessed, Maliki did come to the most difficult moment, and the huge blurry figure appeared again in the turbulent black mist. The last time he saw it was when his mother died. You again? There was a hint of disbelief in his majestic voice. Last time, I got away with it. This time, Maliki, who was standing not far away, forcibly interrupted his spellcasting. What are you? It's up to you? Last time, I was able to escape from your palm. This time, I can. Hearing the phantom of this sentence, he seemed to be amused. Haha, you don't really think. Boom! A surging black mist is generated from Maliki's body, although it is not as strong as a phantom, but that black fog, like a spark of fire, is unique in the thousands of black fog. This is, you are a mutant, the ghost exclaimed. Compared with just now, his tone was much heavier. It was like seeing something unbelievable happen. Why, you can come here. With every word of the virtual shadow, the surrounding black mist is shaking violently. Maliki could hear panic. Unlike last time, this time, Maliki could see something unusual. For example, behind the tall phantom, it seems that there are many people. After taking a closer look, he found 3 comatose people lying nearby not far away. This is the 3 of the patrol team. Why can I see them here? Maliki was a little surprised at this time. A strange voice came from my heart. Why don't you try to save them? Who are you? Who is talking? No one came to explain. Just that voice kept repeating. Why don't you try to save them? Rescue them. Maliki turned and pointed at the unconscious 3. Right, how to do? Just take them out. How to take it away? You know. The sound became smaller and smaller, and finally disappeared. Maliki shouted several times in his heart, but still got no response. I know, you know shit, and many more. Maliki was suddenly different. The black fog is not a complete black fog. There is a door in the distance, a small door. Could it be that this is the direction that the voice said to be able to leave? At this time, the tall phantom was stunned. He is clear about the threat that mutants can bring historically. It is not that there have been mutants in Musi's civilizational subjects, but being able to come in such a short period of time, and yet open the way out, he has never seen it. Don't even think about it. Chapter 272 Light, Darkness. After Maliki had sorted out the current situation, he had a conjecture. After taking the 3 people out of here, they will be able to escape the control of the phantom in front of them, and the voice just now confirmed this. He can save them. Just as Maliki approached the 3, the phantom began to get nervous. Part of the source of his power comes from the people he controls. The more people he controls, the more powerful he becomes. Neither the chosen people of God, nor the priests, nor the high priest have the ability to take the people under their control out of here. Only the mutants have this kind of strength. This is also the reason why the mutants must be killed once they are discovered. What are you doing? Stop it. Seeing Maliki's actions, the ghost couldn't bear it any longer. Who can stand to snatch food in front of him? Maliki stopped. Scare him. Before the ghost could be happy, Maliki turned to look at him and smiled. Yo, I'm starting to get anxious. It's funny to see how anxious you are. The phantom was devastated. I really want to use my abilities and beat him up again, but there is no way. When he has not completely conquered this civilization, in the space of accessories, even he is like an ordinary person. Sure enough, as I guessed, there is nothing you can do. Maliki began to laugh. Phantom, what's the matter? I haven't seen you for a few days. Why is this person's way of talking so cheap? Don't learn good things, but learn some of these ghost skin. Maliki looked at everyone the same. You really can't help me behaving increasingly arrogant, dancing in front of the phantom, twisting his butt and tilting his head. Boy, what can you do with me? Carefully. He walked towards the direction where the three fell to the ground. When approached, Maliki discovered the three people who fell to the ground were not in a physical state, but in the shape of a light group. After hesitating for a while, Maliki stretched out his hand before touching the three of them. The light group took the initiative to gather towards him. Scene after scene began to appear in Maliki's mind. This is, after feeling it for a while, he began to understand that it was the memory of the three of them when the screen is all played waiting. The light group attached to Maliki's body. Did it work? So easy. The whole process was beyond Maliki's expectations. There was no imagined pain, not even negative emotions. With one hand, everything is done. Is this what it should be? Or, am I too strong? No, I've been with Su Zhao for too long, and it really was affected. There is a guinea pig who is always bragging about his power. Even the most humble person will be affected to some extent. You stop for me. The phantom roared. As far as the mutants he has ever seen, this is the most gifted one to save the soul, with a hand. That's it. You are having fun with me. I have never seen this. Maliki didn't pay attention to what the phantom said, and walked forward firmly. There is indeed a small door in front, and there is a strange light. When Maliki was about to step out, he turned his head and said coldly, "You wait for me. This is my first time in, but it will never be the last." The expressions of the onlookers were a little nervous. Not long after the ceremony started, black mist emerged compared with the previous one. This time it is much more intense and pen interest library. The quality is a little bit different. Could it be that black mist is also divided into quality? In the past, everyone would refute what Liu Born said, but not this time. And indeed it is. The black fog is not only rich, but also a bit unique. Maybe it's because Maliki is a mutant, so different. Hearing this, everyone turned their attention to the ceremony. 10 minutes have passed since the ceremony started, except that the black fog on the scene did not dissipate. There was no other situation. Not even a sound appeared. No, there is some danger. It shouldn't. The comrade Maliki we chose is not so weak. As soon as the voice fell, a ray of light began to appear in the dark fog. Then, the light spreads. The three lying patrol squad shuddered. And Maliki's body also turned. Is this successful? With a swish, Maliki immediately got up. The eyes and the pupils gradually converged from laxity. How about it? Su Zhao jumped directly on Maliki's shoulder and asked. Pen Fun Library. Judging by the smell of the latter has not changed. The proof is still the same person. He turned his head and looked at the worried expressions of several people. Maliki's heart warmed, and it had been a long time since he was born. The thought popped up again. Be sure to join their team. Success. Real. With a wave of Maliki's hand, the three-person patrol team immediately woke up as he stepped through the door and left the phantom. A choice appeared in Maliki's heart. Do you want to turn the three into your appendages? Maliki was taken aback for a moment, and then he understood. No wonder. God's chosen people will say something when they hunt him down. Mutants are capable of destroying God's recovery. It turned out to be destroying God's recovery and weakening God's power. Snatch accessories and make them your own. In this way, he began to understand why God needed a lot of sacrifices, essentially extracting their life essence and turning it into your own power. And the mutants, when they rescue the three patrol team, it can transform three people into accessories. However, Maliki didn't do that. If so, what is the difference with them? Moreover, he can still feel it. The black fog of oneself and the black fog of the phantom are essentially different. Symbol of phantom, darkness, and his symbol, light. He began to understand why he became an accessory. Even after God's chosen people, people's temperaments will begin to change. The key point is here. With a wave of Maliki's hand, the three of the patrol team gradually came to their senses, especially IBN. He felt he had a long dream. The self in the dream, cruel, hypocritical. In the deepest vortex, someone suddenly came and took him away from there. Looking at the clear eyes of the three, Su Zhao guessed something. After all, of all people, he has the most information based on the current situation. Some guesses can be made. Would you like to join us? Chapter 273. After being silent for a while, the three of IBN said, I will. After becoming God's chosen people, they have changed a lot, but at that time, I was controlled by the phantom through the pentagram, and I didn't feel too much until Maliki's black mist appeared to rescue them. To distinguish the difference, a symbol of darkness, endless desire, another symbol of light, people to a bright future. 25 minutes passed, and the last 5 minutes remained. After listening to the answer of the three of the patrol team, an idea suddenly popped into Su Zhao's mind. Has the pattern on the meteorite been activated? IBN was stunned. How did they know so clearly? Then nodded and replied, well, it was activated yesterday. We need a squad to deliver the message, but recently the guards around have grown a lot stronger. If you will. Hearing Su Zhao's thoughts, Everyone around was stunned. Then he raised his eyebrows and his eyes lit up. This method is good. The undercover agent who can penetrate the enemy's interior is the most fragrant. The guinea pigs who have learned the art of war are different. The three of IBN looked at each other and nodded in unison. The moment they got rid of the phantom control, they understood this country is terminally ill, using fresh life as a sacrifice, and constantly extracting the essence of life as its own strength. War is inevitable. Moreover, the Phantom represents another civilization. They are just cannon fodder under the control of the Phantom, a subordinate civilized country. Even if the fight is over, others will not feel distressed. A few people put their heads together, and the detailed tactics were completely planned. Watching the backs of the three of the patrol team, Liuborn couldn't help sighing. No way, we turned them back so easily. Whether they will speak, what does it mean to rebel? It is obvious that they have lost their way. Knowing that they were born under the Red Star is the wisest choice. Hearing this sentence, Yuan Farron's expression tightened and his expression twitched. Talking guinea pigs are not necessarily a good thing if their IQ is too high, especially when just using the art of war to formulate tactics. That little expression really means burying others anywhere. So, what should we do? Tang Yuan raised his head and asked. Although Yuan Farron was the nominal captain of the team, in fact everyone listened to Su Zhao's arrangements, wait time, and complaints. Wang Doyu, who was wiping his lightsaber, suddenly raised his head and asked, "Yes, Mad, the five-pointed star is amazing. I'm fighting with them underground, so why can they recover while fighting? Since you want to hang up, then I'll ask Professor Su, Dragon Country, an aerospace base." Xu Teng looked at the busy staff below, lost in thought. Space-based weapon blueprints obtained from the system come in two forms. The first is in the form of projection, and the second is in the form of laser. If the two are built together, it may be too late. After all, the situation in East Afghanistan is already turbulent secretly, and the beautiful country has not yet received specific information. However, the beautiful country has made public remarks some time ago. They have discovered traces of civilization outside the Blue Star and are working to find them. Don't even think about it. You must have discovered other key information, maybe new technology. Xu Teng rubbed his brows and muttered, "I don't know what happened to the lightsaber team in Bam City." Just thinking of this, the satellite phone in front of him rang. Drop. Xu Teng quickly picked it up to answer, "Hello, just say a word, Professor Su, let me tell you, I'm wronged here." "Woohoo, they really don't talk about martial arts. The honest man, are fighting with them, and they're fighting the territory. As a result, they also brought healing arrays, used pentagrams to heal the wounded, and attacked me. I'm wronged, Professor Su. You can't ignore me." Xu Teng, who hasn't said a word yet, it seems that when Su Zhao left the laboratory, his style of painting was a little abnormal. Forget it, a therapeutic array. Listening to the reported news, Xu Teng was not surprised. Pentagrams are inherently therapeutic. As long as a certain amount of sacrifices exists, human cancer can be cured, and treating such a small wounded is not a problem. Maybe it's better to drag Su Zhao's seriously injured members away and use it as a sacrifice. Products play the role of a therapeutic array. Thinking of this, Xu Teng frowned after Su Zhao's reminder. The other side was really too rude. Ding, a new dilemma detected. Generation task. Why do I play well? You say that I am hanging? Task reward. 10 energy points. Intimate remarks. Don't think that you are the only one with a healing array. In the face of genetic medicines that have no side effects, what are your things? Hearing the sudden system sound, Xu Teng was a little surprised. It seems that with the increase of energy points, the system has gradually changed from artificial mental retardation to artificial intelligence. Now there are 70 energy points, and 80 if you get a reward. Although, did not get the drawings. However, the intimate remarks have given the idea of development just like the system's intimate remarks reminded. The healing array also needs sacrifices. Genetic medicine has no side effects. Well, I see. After a while, I will send the new development plan to the ring I gave you. You can already follow the steps to get it out. Of course, my dear Professor Su, different from other researchers, Professor Su's experimental plan has always been teaching like a fool. Not to mention researchers, ordinary graduate students can create them. Su Zhao, who has a strong learning ability, can naturally develop it according to the plan. With the information it obtained, it was able to draw Su Zhao, who started the ceremony of the pentagram. How is the battle ahead? This is what Xu Teng wants to ask the most, because, depending on the intelligence, Xu Teng will decide which part of the space-based weapon to build first. The pentagram pattern of the meteorite has been activated. Mutant, Maliki brought back 3 chosen gods from the 12 Phantom. The good news is, A patrol team in Bam City has successfully become our people. Bad news, according to Maliki, the Tall Phantom is much more solid than when he first went, which is a precursor to recovery and arrival. After listening to Su Zhao's report carefully, Xu Teng began to feel confident. Okay. Tomorrow at the latest, I will send the new development plan to your ring. Okay. Su Zhao turned into a cute look again. Chapter 274 Biological Virus. The space-based weapon developed by the system is a god-killing version. It is obvious that the gods of East Afghanistan have begun to wake up. It's too late to build the building template for the laser. The projected template is relatively easy. After all, there are only two parts in total. One is the tungsten rod and the other is the power source for propulsion. As the power piece, you only need to proportionally increase the magic-modified Milovsky particle equipment. After everything was decided, Xu Teng picked up the walkie-talkie and started calling his assistant. Professor Su, what are your orders? Change the plan of the space-based weapon, remove the laser part, and build the projection part first. Okay, by the way, have we ever built a projection part of a space-based weapon? As the new head of the base, Xu Teng has permission to read classified documents. I once briefly browsed the weapon construction projects of the Dragon Kingdom in various years. It has been built, and there are certain results. It just didn't launch successfully. The latter sentence, the assistant did not say. You send me the documents of those projects, and I will remodel them so that the original researchers will come to our base immediately. Okay. The assistant stepped back respectfully and closed the office door. God has begun to recover, although in another dimension. He has no lethal effect and the mutant Maliki even let him take 3 people away, but he cannot be despised. A civilization outside the Blue Star can do this kind of invasion just by relying on the pentagram pattern on the meteorite. Any underestimation is fatal. Completely build it according to the god-killing version blueprint given by the system, and the time will not come. Fortunately, Longo has carried out a project of space-based weapons and has similar construction experience. Change the blueprint, and combine the effect of the badge to break out. Maybe you can catch up with the changes in the battle ahead in the last time. Ding. You have new news. It's pretty quick. While flipping through the construction progress of previous projects, I compared the drawings given by the system in my mind, the tungsten rod used in the projection device, and the development diagram given by the system from the perspective of paper. The hardness is quite different. There is also a problem with the launch angle. If it is projected from this angle, it will inevitably cause the tissues of various parts to rub against each other. A small force will cause unadjustable errors under the ultra-long projection distance. The power source for propulsion is also very problematic. Although space-based weapons are based on gravity and the tungsten rod that projects itself to inflict lethality, if the energy of the push is ignored, the lethality is destined to be greatly weakened. In a few minutes, Xu Teng compared all the projects. From the perspective of the progress of the project, Longo only needs to solve the hardness of the tungsten rod, the projection angle of the tungsten rod, the friction between the parts and the final propulsion energy. Space-based weapons can be successfully developed. If I didn't encounter Xu Teng before, these problems that seem to be summed up in one sentence, if we really want to realize it, it will take at least a few years, or even more than 10 years, but they met the system because, in the drawings provided by the system, these detailed problems can be well resolved. Even the most critical power source is the anti-gravity engine. As long as it is scaled up, it can definitely be used in space-based weapons. Perhaps, it can really catch up with the time when God comes. In the room there was only the sound of swish, swish. Half an hour later, a full set of design drawings came out from Xu Teng's room, and those scientific researchers who were summoned from various units were on the plane at this time. Looking at the transmitted blueprints, everyone was stunned. So soon? Did it say that the plan was still being changed half an hour ago? I also find it strange that in our impression, there were quite a few technical problems during the construction of space-based weapons nearly 10 years ago. Hey, why didn't you speak? Look at the transfer drawings for yourself. When the people around heard this sentence, they lowered their heads and studied it carefully. I'm going to. The hardness of the tungsten rod material. Just add particles in this ratio. The force of the launch angle will affect the projection accuracy. So, delete it directly. This suggestion is not bad. Can delete it. What to do with the power source? In ordinary space-based weapon projection, the power source can be ignored because the driving force of joining FX. Just scrolling down for a while, I was stunned. The power energy given in the above drawing is the energy of the anti-gravity engine directly. The projected image appeared in everyone's mind. The space-based weapons in the minds of others all hit the target with a bang, and the blueprint of the space-based weapon that Professor Xu gave them was boom 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 boom, dragging a long tail flame. Striving to kill in one blow. Really hardcore physics education. What kind of enemy did he face that made Professor Xu so cautious? In the office, after the blueprints of the modified space-based weapons were passed out, Xu Teng starts new research, judging by the news delivered by Su Zhao. The opposite is to use the treatment array to heal various injuries. On the surface, it's related to theology. In fact, it's related to science. The light provided by the pentagram is able to enter the body, and the reason why the light can heal is by stimulating the reproduction rate of the cells. There are a variety of immune cells in the human body, and the cell reproduction rate increases, which can stop bleeding in the shortest time. Subsequently, the corresponding cells generate tissue, which in turn allows the organism to achieve rapid healing. Looking at the conjectured cell tissues marked with emphasis, Xu Teng's mind suddenly turned to another way of thinking. In the Genetic Biological Warrior project, I got a new technology, similar to the underlying logic of the IT profession, if it is used as a biological virus or the like. When the opposite side acts through the therapeutic array and enters the organism, it will also stimulate the biological virus. Under the powerful effect of the underlying logic, the attributes of both the enemy and the enemy will be changed. The final situation will become, yours is fine, but the next second, it will be mine. Yep, that's it. When inspiration broke out, Xu Teng took out the research drawings of Gene Medicine and Gene Biological Warrior, and compared them with each other. Half an hour later, Xu Teng said happily with his eyes glowing, in theory, everything is really possible. Chapter 275. Is there anything else you can in number 039, do? The entire theoretical process was deduced again, and it was determined that there was no abnormality. Xu Teng immersed himself in the development of biological viruses because of the manufacturing experience of the Gene Medicine and Gene Bio-Warrior projects. The overall process was not that difficult when developing biovirus. Genetic drugs are essentially stimulating the growth rate of cells, so they can achieve the effect of prolonging life. It has the same effect as the healing array formed by the pentagram. When it is made into virus, it can be used as a target cell. In this way, when the cells are in contact, because the information is the same, it is of a confusing nature, so that the treatment array cannot identify it. While saying this, Xu Teng added the medicine into the test tube. Teng suddenly appeared. Blue fog. Put the pipette next to it deep into the test tube, suck out a certain amount of the drug, and observe it under an optical microscope. Fun library. There are tiny things in the liquid squirming. Well, yes, it seems that the whole process went smoothly. The upgraded badge. The effect is not only upgraded from the single role to the group role, but also has the biggest benefit, that is to inadvertently improve Xu Teng's physical fitness. Emblem, Demon Transformation Master, makes him always come up with strange ideas. Badge, Fusion. The knowledge learned by Xu Teng can be integrated after repeated use. Under the effect of these two badges, a small wriggling microorganism was added to the original genetic medicine. What it carries on it is the underlying logic. When the treatment is in effect, it stays in the treatment array all the time, and those creatures who healed their injuries through the healing array were infected with the underlying logic of the virus. Identify Su Zhao's breath as their boss and listen to Su Zhao's orders. Just when Xu Teng was hesitating whether he should be tested by the experimental subjects, the voice of the system sounded in his mind. Ding. A biological virus has been detected. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the task in the shortest time. Why do I play well? You say that I am hanging? Rewards obtained. 10 energy points. The badge has been obtained. Miracle reappears. Badge description. When I was a student, I heard the phrase one pen, one bottle of water, one night, one miracle. Later, I did research, and the miracle became, when the task occurred, I was able to complete the crypt. Intimate description. Not all scientific research tasks are feasible, and the effect is better when facing God. Hearing the sound of the system prompt, Xu Teng was stunned unexpectedly. You can get badges in this task. A miracle reappears. I'm afraid the system is not proclaiming from the side that there is not only one God born. Xu Teng frowned, then stretched out. Come here, anyway, for the gods in East Afghanistan. Space-based weapons have been arranged. Even if they are from the beautiful country, then they will fight. By the way, immediately afterwards, Xu Teng packaged and sent all the overall information of biological virus to the ring he prepared for Su Zhao. After all, they are in a different place than Xu Teng is the front line in East Afghanistan. Especially in the capital city of Bam, the noise generated by random calls will increase their exposure risk, but there is no risk in packaging the information to Xu Zhao's ring. Seeing the progress bar read 100%, Xu Teng turned his attention to the space-based weapon in front of him. Ding. Badge. Fusion is complete. The cooling has been completed. Ding. Badge. The magician. The cooling down has been completed. The time for the badges of the two group skills has been cooled down. Xu Teng exhaled slowly, picked up the walkie-talkie and said, "Make arrangements. In 15 minutes, all the scientific researchers in the base will come to build space-based weapons." "Okay, Professor Xu." Just when many scientific researchers in the space base were doing their best to develop space-based weapons, several people in the safe house in Bam City are discussing new tactics. "You said, can we really trust the three of them?" Liu Boren had a trace of worry in his eyes. "The front is still their enemy, and it took a long time to become a comrade in arms." His identity changed so quickly that he couldn't get used to it. "Oh, that's all. Anything you can think of, I'll definitely do it for you, sir." Liu Boren: "No, this little mouse is a little too arrogant. I can't take it anymore. I can think of what it is, but if you say that, I'm not happy." When he turned his head, he saw the expressions on everyone's face. Liu Boren was discouraged, and said angrily, "Then tell me, how can you be sure that they are really doing things to us?" Xu Zhao, who was sitting on the orange cat's head, stretched out his hand, snapped his fingers into the air and said, "Come out." Liu Boren: "What are you doing?" As a result, the words have not been spoken. I saw a tiny ant flying out of everyone's bodies, circling around the crowd. "I'm going." "When did you put this thing on us?" Gan Wang Oyu, who had been wiping the lightsaber, frowned. Then, as if he had figured out something, his brows stretched, and he lowered his head to wipe the lightsaber. And the Maliki sitting on the side was just stupid. After taking the three of IBN out in front of the tall phantom, he felt that he was very different as a mutant, especially when I learned that the tall phantom was very likely to be a god. I felt a little more pride in my heart, but the tiny ants that suddenly appeared broke his self-confidence. No wonder, Xu Zhao knows our every move. "Hey, boy, do you believe me now?" Liu Boren, who was named in person, blushed, and said buzzingly, "You, awesome, you, awesome. You are so awesome. Why don't you talk about the underground forces in Bam City? All control, yo, boy, you are a little unconvinced." Xu Zhao picked up the buzzing ring and snapped his fingers. "Now, my uncle, I'm not afraid that they will cheat and cheat." Just now, Professor Xu passed the development plan of biological virus to me. Isn't it just cheating and fighting biological warfare? It's like no one has a helper. This time, I'm going to lay down this country under Bam City for you. Seeing Xu Zhao leaving without recognizing his 6 relatives, everyone fell into silence. This little guinea pig seems a little outrageous. The detection ability is super strong, and the species can be controlled through deterrence. The orange cat it often sits on is the best example. At the same time, the learning ability is also outstanding just through the acquisition of information. The launching ceremony of the pentagram is perfectly reproduced, and now, it is even necessary to do scientific research to develop the so-called biological virus GAN. In the end, the city of Bam was not really shot down by a guinea pig. What can't it be? P.S. The list of thank you gifts is sent every time. But I don't know why it has not been displayed. Thank you for your gifts. Watch a video. The author also has income. Some book friends know their names. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.